1,000 cars on the ground for doing every day. We've got the parts you need at prices you won't believe. 7 days a week. You pull, you save, you pull it.co.uk. Prices may vary, terms and conditions apply.
Wouldn't it be better if your insurance company rewarded you for renewing? At NFU Mutual, our insurance can be relied on, and that means we reward loyalty. As a car, home, farming or business customer, you get a saving on your renewal thanks to our mutual bonus. We do this so you can enjoy the more important things. No wonder 9 out of 10 customers choose to renew every year. For insurance you can rely on, join NFU Mutual today.
It was the in thing to smoke. You felt good, you felt grown up.
Nobody who starts young ever thinks they'll smoke for life.
Never once thought I'd get cancer, not once. To tell your family you got cancer through smoking, what an idiot. Me kids, they thought they were going to lose their mother.
Up to 2 in 3 long-term smokers die from smoking. Be part of the change and help build a smoke-free generation. Quit smoking. For free support, search Smoke Free.
Feel the new Epic on 3. Trade in and save £304 on the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra powered by Galaxy AI. Plus, get 12 months of Paramount Plus, 28 days of roaming and 300 gig of data included from £54 a month with £60 up front. Annual April airtime price rise of CPI plus 3.9% applies. Search 3 or head in store today.
Credit by 3. Terms apply. See 3.co.uk.
Open ratings only. BeGambleAware.org.
On DAB, online, on the app, and on your smart speaker.
Cheltenham. Tally-ho for Cheltenham. Talk Sport. Talk Sport. News.
With your 11:30 headlines, I'm Jenny Barsby. Concerns have been raised that far-right groups are setting up a network of gyms and martial arts clubs to radicalise young men. Anti-fascist campaigners say some members of the Active Club include people who've marched with the banned organisation National Action. Nick Lowles, who's head of Hope Not Hate, told us this is a worrying trend.
The danger is once you've got people together, once you've got people kind of, doing the bodybuilding, practicing their fighting, some of those people are going to go and do some of this outside. It's quite dangerous.
A 17-year-old boy will stand trial in November for the murder of 15-year-old Eliane Andam in Croydon after his manslaughter plea was rejected. She was stabbed to death as she stepped off a bus on her way to school last September. There's been another small drop in the number of people waiting to start routine hospital treatment in England. At the end of January, the number of patients on the list stood at 6.32 million. It's a fall of 50,000 on December's figures. And the Toyota Yaris has been named the UK's most reliable used car. Warranty provider Warranty Wise gave the Japanese vehicle a score of 89 out of 100 for overall reliability and repair costs. The Suzuki Swift came a close second with a score of 87.8.
Talk Sport with Bostik. If you need a professional grade sealant with high mold resistance, easy tooling and minimal shrinkage, choose Bostik Pro Sealants.
Ben White's agreed a new long-term contract at Arsenal, and Reading have reportedly agreed to sell their state-of-the-art training ground to Wickham. Steve will have more in half an hour.
Hello, I'm Johnny Cash. I've got loads of cash. We're roaring on the riders for the Hurdle Ditching fans. We're toasting Big St. Patrick in the Guinness Grandstand tent. But you know where you'll find us in where the punter's look expensive, but all the drinks are free. The Cheltenham Festival Survivors Breakfast. Live, fabricated and legendary tomorrow morning from 6 on Talk Sport.
Always drink responsibly. BeGambleAware.org. Don't do what Alan does.
It's showtime on Talk Sport with BetMGM. Get ready for the golden era in sports betting. Visit betmgm.co.uk or download the app. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
It's that time, isn't it? We're joined by Dan Towers from BetMGM to look at today's top sporting events and the odds round and about them. Dan, good morning to you. Premier League darts back tonight in Nottingham. What can you give us?
Morning, Jim. Morning, Simon. Yeah, darts.
Morning, mate.
Last week, World Championship leader Luke Humphries beat his quarter-final opponent, Michael Smith, 6-3 in Brighton. Humphries is 11-4 second favourite to win this year's Premier League. He's just behind market leader Michael van Gerwen, who's facing Luke Littler Lidl won the Belgian Open at the weekend and hit another 9-darter, third this season. He's 20 to 1 to repeat that feat. It'll probably go some way to explain why he's odds on to beat the Dutchman tonight. But Littler, quite surprising, he's still yet to win a Premier League night, and Michael van Gerwen won't be easy given he's won 3 nights already this season.
Now then, Dan, I know you're a Brighton man. European football last night, but then tonight as well. So let's start with last night.
Yeah, I'm not just going to go straight into Brighton, Jim. I'm not going to focus on last night.
Quite right. Yeah.
Brighton. I mean, it looks on paper to have an impossible task, doesn't it? I've been gleefully told by some of my colleagues no team has ever overturned a 4-goal consecutive deficit in the Europa League. Brighton have to go for it. I imagine Roma will just sit back and try and catch us on the break. Brighton are favourites to win the game and nearly 20 to 1 to qualify. It would arguably be the greatest turnaround in history. Despite personal links, I just can't see it happening. Can you?
No, I can't, and I dearly wanted to, because I'm on record as saying it, and Simon gets into my ribs about this, but Mourinho left a team of individuals who I think at times do themselves no favours on the pitch. They can play, Dan, of that there is no doubt. They are good players, but they resort to the dark arts all too often. Cristante, Paredes, the Argentinian, and others. But anyway, I would love Brighton to win almost every game they play because of Paul Barber and Tony down there. But I think this is just going to be beyond them. I mean, Simon, you'd be jubilant if Brighton could somehow do it, would you not?
No, not particularly. But I'd like to think they make a good game of it. I'd like to think Tony Bloom, there's not an owner that deserves more praise than he does. Because irrespective of my relationship with Brighton, they are a football club that's been built ultimately by the intellect and capital that Tony Bloom has deployed.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't so long ago, as I've remarked on a number of occasions, that their boardroom was a scoundrel. My personal preference is to them to be back in it, but notwithstanding that, you have to admire what they've achieved.
It's a shocker, isn't it? Dan, ignore that, mate. Ignore it. It would be the best result ever in Europe if they can overturn 4-0 against that lot. But I cannot see them do it. I'd love to see De Rossi's face at the end of it. If that happens, nobody would be safe. So much for that. The Cheltenham Festival, we've been talking about it for all the wrong reasons this morning, but it's day 3, Dan.
Yeah, it is. Yesterday opened up the same for favourite backers when Ballyburn and Factor File both won. But the big race today saw favourite El Fabiolo put up. That slightly delayed Willie Mullins celebrating his 100th Cheltenham winner. But he managed to get that in the bump for the final race of the day. It's a remarkable effort, which I think will be strong to be matched in many years to come. Today's big race is the Stayers Hurdle over 3 miles. The Irish lead the market again, as you'd expect, with Tihuhu at 6 to 4 and Sir Gerhard at 7 to 1. Keep an eye out on Noble Yates, former Grand National winner. He's 15 to 2 and he won last time out at Cheltenham. He's got Harry Cobden on board, who's yet to have a winner this week, but he's going well in the overall jockey standings. He's had 142 winners so far this year, so this year being the season. So I wouldn't put you off Noble Yates to get a place in the Stayers Hurdle.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. Good luck tonight, Dan. I'll be rooting for them. I hope they can, as you rightly say, at least win the tie. That's Brighton against Roma. That was Dan Towers from BetMGM. Visit betmgm.co.uk or download the app. You've got to be 18 and over. BeGambleAware.org.
It's showtime on TalkSport with BetMGM. Making every game an occasion with tools that'll help you play safe. 18+, BeGambleAware.org.
Simon, as you might imagine, I'm looking at the messages. This is what happens on the show when there's a breaking news story of sorts. It gathers pace, and inevitably we jump on it if we don't break it ourselves. On this occasion, the news has come in this morning. The Reading owner, Reading a problem club at the moment, in financial meltdown off the field, and of course they've got the problems on it as well because in terms of winning games, it's not helped by the fact that the club, as I said, is in financial meltdown. Off it, the owner, Dai Young, much publicised financial difficulties, put a lot of money into the football club, but is now no longer prepared to invest in it. Now, to cap all that off, the Reading owner, Dai Young, has now agreed to sell the club's Fairwood Park training ground, a state-of-the-art training ground, Simon, to local rivals Wycombe Wanderers less than 5 years after the facility was opened. They've already sold the stadium to a company controlled by Dai in 2019. Reading now face the prospect of renting their own training ground as well to themselves, with their landlords now being the new neighbours, Wycombe Wanderers, the neighbours Wycombe Wanderers. What does this tell us, son?
I think it's an appalling look. I think the man, I've made the observation to the Reading fans about they didn't complain when they were spending lots of money. And I've acknowledged and have to acknowledge their challenges of where they are at this moment in time. I don't say these things lightly about going to administration as if it's some gimmick or gimme or game, but the only way you would find yourself clear of this man, unless someone's prepared to pick up what he wants them to pay and the liabilities that he's incurred, you're going to find yourself in a very invidious position. They're campaigning the league to change certain things, believing that the league are standing in the way of it, when it's not the league that stopped this guy from being expelled as a director and for them to seize control. It was the independent commission that adjudicated that couldn't happen. I think it's awful. I think he is selling a training ground to manage the short-term finances of a train wreck that he's created. He has no interest in the football club, and that happens, and that's the byproduct of wanting people to own football clubs that you feel are going to be able to pour money into them. And here's the flip side of the argument: he's not interested anymore. Couldn't care less about it anymore. It's an irritation to him and a financial encumbrance that he doesn't want. But he's not going to let it go until he gets something from someone else that's prepared to meet his expectations. And it puts the Reading fans in an awful position. It's like the embarrassment factor of having to either sell your training ground to Wycombe Wanderers who are in the vicinity of your football club. It's like me owning Crystal Palace and selling the training ground to Millwall, and then training on the training ground that they're on. It's the least of their concerns, but it's a concern. It's a terrible optic. It's not even a terrible optic. It's a terrible reality that a training ground that you build that would be part of an asset that you want to sell to an incoming purchaser that would see it as an opportunity to be able to utilise the talent in the area, have a bigger catchment area of developing young players by having these sort of facilities, has now been given away at a discounted price to meet the expectations of an owner that has no interest any further in plugging the problems that he and himself created.
Well, of course, both clubs, Reading and Wycombe, are in League One now. In fact, Reading lost at home to Wycombe at the weekend by 2-1. So one of the deal was done and dusted then. Caroline Parker, Sell Before We Die spokesperson, of course, very much pro the football club, pro Reading on behalf of the fans, has just said the news that Reading owner Dai Young, his sister and fellow owner Dai Ju Lee, and the chief executive Dai Yong Pang, who's been on this show, Dai Yong Pang spoke to us last time. The news that they're selling the training ground shows that they never intended to sell the club. They're intent only on one thing: killing Reading Football Club, a club with a proud 152-year history. This club now, our club, is now firmly on life support.
That doesn't make any sense. I understand the emotion, but there's no benefit. What's the benefit? Unless they're suggesting that somehow or another, that by killing the football club, they're going to reclaim lands and be able to use them for different things. First of all, I doubt that's going to happen, because the land, the notion what it can be used for is only for football stadia and only for the preparedness of football clubs to play in that environment. So I understand what she's saying, but the material benefits to him are to find a buyer to get him out and damage limitate what he has to bear the cost of going forward, and also what he spent previously.
Well, Caroline's trying to mobilise the Reading fans, and we're happy to get behind what you're trying to do, Caroline. We're calling on all Reading fans to gather tomorrow night, Friday night, 6 o'clock, outside Adams Park for a peaceful protest. We're going to invite all Wycombe fans who don't want their club to become known as the new MK Dons to stand with us, because football has an ownership problem here. We know Reading fans are confused and worried, so are we. One thing is clear: we will not give up the fight for the future of our club.
That's a silly comparison, because Wycombe Wanderers play at Wycombe Wanderers football stadium, and they've taken a training ground that belongs to you, that happens to be in the geographic.
What should these people think? What should Caroline and the rest of the fans think this morning?
Well, I think they should think what they're thinking, but I think the tragedy of it is they're not going to achieve very much. Now, if they decide to boycott the football club and not to spend any money in there, then all he'll do is sell more assets to bridge the gap between when someone else will pay him what he wants from this football club, until there's an alternative. Now, if they think this is going to draw attention to the EFL and their shortcomings, or what they think of their shortcomings, maybe it will. Maybe the rules need to be changed, and subsequently the man can be removed from the football club. They can take executive control. I doubt it, because the other 17 football clubs are going to look at this and go, whilst it's a horrible situation, we're not going to allow the EFL to have some sort of precedent which gives them an opportunity to grab a club from us and have executive control in any circumstance. So I do feel, I empathise, and when I see these idiots on social media that suggest that you and I have taken this lightly because they're Reading fans and they don't like the fact that I said go into administration, they want to pay attention. It's not a desire for you to go into administration. It may be the only outcome that rids yourself of this canker sore of an owner.
Yeah. Reading played Cambridge on Saturday at home. You can imagine in League One, of course, you can imagine there'll be some kind of process at that. Obviously, we're encouraging it to be a peaceful one. But the Reading fans up in arms at this. Very briefly, I'm trying to get to a break, Simon. For any prospective buyer of Reading, the very fact that he's sold the training ground makes it less of an attractive deal.
Yes and no. I mean, look, the training ground is a facility that gives you an opportunity, like I said,
De Chatelet held on to
Well, De Chatelet held on to the real estate, but he came out with ridiculous observations. He turned around and said you can have the football club for nothing, but a stadium for 30 million quid. Well, it's the same thing. I wouldn't want the stadium without the bloody football club, would I? What would be the point of that? So it was a ridiculous way of characterising things. No, it's not ideal. They built that training ground for a reason, but then is then and now is now. The issue is that you've got somebody sitting in there like some demented cuckoo that no longer wants to be there, but wants to get some financial returns back from the investment he's put in a football club. And he's not interested. They can scream and bark at the moon. He's not going to do anything besides what he feels he has to. And the challenge might be what the EFL can do.
Right, okay.
Which isn't a lot, I'm afraid.
All right, now for the first time, Reading fans, we're taking up your case, your cause, and we'll see where we go with it. Stay with us, 10 to 12.
White and Jordan on TalkSport with Selco Builders Warehouse. Order online for free delivery at selcobw.com.
The new Samsung Galaxy Book 4 series has an Intel Core Ultra processor, touchscreen technology, and a dynamic AMOLED 2X display. Perfect for streaming, gaming, and work. That sounds less exciting, but it will look so mint when you're doing it. Buy a Galaxy Book 4 Ultra, Pro 360 or Pro by the 27th of March from Samsung.com and get a Tab S9 FE worth £389. Automatic basket of checkout.
Expression and innovation excite in equal measure. Let's make it real. Introducing the new all-electric BMW iX2 with striking design inside and out, and a BMW curved display that lets you stream movies and play video games whilst parked up. Search Stratstone Hull BMW to book a test drive. Non-conformist, please call Medicine PQ. Features require a BMW digital premium subscription. App costs may apply. Details on our website. Test drive subject to status and availability.
Hey, you're looking for car parts at unbelievable prices. Here at New Pullets, the region's only pull your own parts breakers yard. We've got them in the thousands. Alternators at 21 quid, starter motors too, alloys 30 and fractures 15. A whole engine for just 154 quid. With over 3,000 cars on the ground, new in every day, we've got the parts you need at prices you won't believe. 7 days a week. You pull, you save, newpullet.co.uk. Prices may vary, terms and conditions apply.
Do you like the sound of work that has plenty of giggles? Where you'll build lifelong skills, as well as wobbly towers? Where you'll feel part of a team, or even have the chance to lead one? Where every little thing you do makes a big difference. Do something big. Work with small champions. Search early years careers to find out more.
Book your next adventure with TUI and soak up sunnier scenes in Turkey or Mallorca. Take off from Humberside Airport and experience a break with great value deals on flights to your favourite destinations. So get ready to make memories that last and live happy with TUI. Financially protected by AXA.
Relaxing was that yoga session. I feel so free. Speak for yourself. Can you let go? Bloody leaks. I know, right? I am so done compromising. I got the new bit of yoga kit. Always discreet pads. Here, try for yourself next week. Love you lots, but this thing pad won't keep up with my heavy leaks.
Just trust me on this one. So, all zen and liberated, are we?
Let's just say I found my flow.
Always discreet. Live with no compromise.
Jim White versus Simon Jordan on TalkSport. A daily landscape of fire, football and feuding.
Towering opinion from two giants of sports broadcasting, Jim White and Simon Jordan. Mid-mornings on Talk Sport.
Simon Jordan's Football Business Roundup on Talk Sport with Tesco Mobile for Business. Join Tesco Mobile and get business phone bills for up to 40% less than the big mobile networks. Tesco Mobile. Every little helps. For applicable terms and verification, see tescomobile.com/business.
And we're going to include the Reading story in our Tesco Mobile for Business Roundup because the news, as far as Reading fans in League One are concerned this morning, it was bad, but it's got a whole lot worse because Reading owner Dan Young has agreed to sell the club's Fairwood Park training ground to local rivals, if you please, Wycombe Wanderers, less than 5 years after the state-of-the-art facility was opened. It's all just a continuation of this seemingly financial meltdown situation at the football club. Paul Mann represents the Sell Before We Die fan group. Paul, you've been with us before, you're with us again. You must be pretty desperate now, are you not?
Second. Yeah, this is the lowest point so far, and it feels like it's the beginning of the end, to be honest. I can't see any way out of this. Selling your training ground when you're trying to sell the whole of the rest of the club, it's absolute insanity, isn't it?
Did you see it coming, Paul?
Well, they put out a statement on Sunday saying that they were trying to sell the training ground, but who would have thought that Wycombe Wanderers are going to be complicit now in actually killing a club? I mean, you would not imagine that, would you? I mean, you'd say that, you know, Jai Lau and Dai Young and Dai Yongpeng have absolutely been part of it, but now I'm going to put them in there and their owner, Pian Kohei. They're absolutely trying to kill us, aren't they? Take advantage of our situation. Shame on them, I say.
Wow, these are strong words, Paul.
Well, there's a reality of the football family, the so-called football family. It's more like the Adams family. There are interested parties in your club, though. There are bids and offers being put forward for the purchase of your club, though, aren't there, Paul?
Yes, definitely. That's the thing. That is the major issue. There are groups that are definitely interested in buying the group as a whole with the training ground and with the stadium. So why Dai Yongpeng would take this completely insane decision to do this is mind-blowing. It's killed any possibility of that happening because who's going to want to take on a club that doesn't even have a training ground?
I'm not getting that impression. I'm getting text messages from certain parties that I know to be involved in the potential acquisition of your club that will still proceed on the basis of trying to do a deal with this fella. And what I would say to you, Paul, I understand the emotivity of the language. When I bought Palace in 2000, it didn't have a training ground. And Ron Knowles had sold all the assets of Crystal Palace, including owning the stadium himself. But it didn't stop me buying a football club, then buying a training ground, and investing in it. The loss of the training ground is a disappointment. It's the result of a train wreck of an ownership model, but it's the lesser of two evils. If you can find somebody to remove this cuckoo from his demented nest, then Reading will be rebuilt and training grounds will be reacquired and opportunities to be redeveloped. And I understand the irritation and frustration of a rival taking advantage, but that's business and that's life and it's unkind and it's unfair, but it's the way that the world works sometimes. If you think the football family are going to come together, you're misguided. But Sandy,
Paul's fan group, Paul, correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, your colleague Caroline Parker, Sell Before We Die fan group, she's taken it even further. I mean, she's even likened it to, like, Rick Parry in the EFL. You said never again after Bury's demise, but here we go again. I mean, are you honestly thinking you could end up like Bury ended up?
Yeah, I mean, totally. I mean, I totally get what Simon's saying about the situation, obviously, but we're actually alive in this now. That is the issue, isn't it? You know, we don't have the ability of hindsight and kind of looking back at how it worked out for Crystal Palace, and it has worked out brilliantly for them, but we have no guarantee of that, and we also have Bury as an example of how it can work out incredibly badly. And, you know, until somebody actually comes forward and buys the club, the process becomes more and more difficult, and that is what we feel as fans. And all we feel now is pain and concern and fear. And I say again, if Wycombe do buy the club, and I know Simon will say that the football family is totally distant, I totally get that. I know it's ruthless, it's ruthless, but it's still sickening. No fan would want to see
it.
Yeah,
it's disappointing. It is absolutely disappointing, but it's the reality of the world. Now, perhaps the 20 million that he acquires will facilitate and enable, about £20 million that he acquires a training ground facilitate somebody having to pay £20, £30 million less on the way in to buy the football club, but you get some responsible owners. Whilst it's a step backwards, it will be a lesser of two evils. because ultimately the biggest problem you've got is not time. And when I said to you the other day, Glenn, it's not likely to go into administration. The reason why I said it was because it frees up the obligations of an incoming purchaser to meet the liabilities of the past. That's the only reason I said it, which makes it easier for it to buy. But the bottom line is that it's not the benefit of hindsight. There are many football clubs that the Berry situation is a unique situation. I spoke to that clown that ran Berry, Steve Dell. I know what he did. I spoke off the record with him and on the record, and it's a completely different situation. He didn't put a dime into that football club. He had no interest in putting a dime into that football club. You can't make that argument about this fella. This fella has just decided that the £200 million and the way that he's run his football club is no longer of any interest to him, and he wants out. There's no benefit to him.
You've been a catastrophic business.
Let me finish my point. There's no benefit to him to kill this club unless you can tell me that it's some other usage you can get for the land, there's some other usage you can get for the infrastructure of Reading, as opposed to selling it as a business. He cannot get the deal he wants, and maybe somewhere along the line he's going to have to accept the reality of someone paying far less than he wants.
Paul, finish this story.
Yeah, but the problem is, though, if you're trying to work out any logical thinking with Guy Young, it's incredibly difficult. There's no evidence of that, and he's also already killed 2 further, Simon. That's there in the back of the mind for Reading fans. That's not an easy thought to have, and, you know, if you're supporting your team in that scenario, all you've got is fear. That's all you've got right now, because you can feel what's coming. He's acid stripping the club right in front of us. And I can feel no positivity. I really don't. I just have concern and worry that this will be the last season of Reading FC as we see it. And, you know, I don't feel that is, you know, I don't feel like I'm jumping the gun there and saying something that's completely irrational. It's there now.
Wow. You think this is the last this could well be your last season in existence, Paul?
Well, I hope this isn't the case, but it's not an impossibility, is it? You know, and I really, really pray that somebody comes in and actually takes us over, but, you know, of all the clubs in the EFL, we are now the nearest to that scenario. And I just hope that Simon is right and someone comes in, buys the club, and we get out of this situation. But until that actually confirmed, I can't have anything but worry.
Paul, listen, thank you for joining us. Paul Mann of the fan group there, a very effective fan group who really feel the pain at the moment. Sell Before We Die fan group. Paul will know, Sam, and you know, you were with me. We have approached and were successful the last time. We spoke to the chief executive, Dai Yong Pang, a colleague of Dai Yong. And Dai Yong Pang surprised me by agreeing to be interviewed and was. We're trying to get a word with him at the moment to confirm whether or not it is the case that they've sold the training ground, the Art Reading training ground, to Wycombe Wanderers. That was a roundup of one of the top business stories with Tesco Mobile for Business.
Simon Jordan's Football Business Roundup on TalkSport with Tesco Mobile for Business. Join Tesco Mobile and get business phone bills for up to 40% less than the big mobile networks. Tesco Mobile, everything helps. For applicable terms and verification, see tescomobile.com/business.
White and Jordan on TalkSport with Selco. For the latest special offers, pick up this month's real deals in branch or view online at selcobw.com.
The only place to buy your new 24 plate Mercedes-Benz is direct from Mercedes-Benz. It's the only place where you'll always find our best offers, like the A200 AMG Line Executive Hatchback from £299 a month, with an advance rental of £7,251. PCH offer ends 31st of March. Visit us at Mercedes-Benz of Hull. 4 years. T's and C's apply. Mercedes-Benz Finance. Mercedes-Benz of Hull is a credit intermediary, not a lender. Commission paid. Speak to us for details.
Hey, you're looking for car parts at unbelievable prices. Here at You Pull It, the region's only pull-your-own parts breakers yard. We've got them in the thousands. Alternators at 21 quid, starter motors too, alloys 30 and fractures 15. A whole engine for just 154 quid. With over 3,000 cars on the ground, we're doing every day. We've got the parts you need at prices you won't believe. 7 days a week. You pull, you save, youpullIt.co.uk. Prices may vary, terms and conditions apply.
Wouldn't it be better if your insurance company rewarded you for renewing? At NFU Mutual, our insurance can be relied on, and that means we reward loyalty. As a car, home, farming or business customer, you get a saving on your renewal thanks to our mutual bonus. We do this so you can enjoy the more important things. No wonder 9 out of 10 customers choose to renew every year. For insurance you can rely on, join NFU Mutual today.
And was the in thing to smoke? You felt good, you felt grown up.
Nobody who starts young ever thinks they'll smoke for life.
that I once thought I'd get cancer, not once. To tell your family you got cancer through smoking. What an idiot. Me kids, I thought they were going to lose their mum.
Up to 2 in 3 long-term smokers die from smoking. Be part of the change and help build a smoke-free generation. Quit smoking. For free support, search Smoke Free.
Seeing the new Epic on 3. Trade in and save £304 on the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra powered by Galaxy AI. Plus, get 12 months of Paramount Plus, 28 days of roaming and 300 gig of data included from £54 a month with £60 up front. Annual April airtime price rise of CPI plus 3.9% applies. Search 3 or head in store today.
Credit by 3. Terms apply. See 3.co.uk.
News nights on Times Radio. 3 hours of the latest news, cutting-edge analysis, and in-depth interviews with the people making the news and the people who report it. At Times from 10 on Times Radio. Carol Walker, Monday to Wednesday.
How can you tell if what you're seeing online is real?
Henry Bonson, Thursday and Friday.
We're gauging responses to last night's military action in the news.
Darren Morris at the weekend.
Front pages of tomorrow's papers are in.
Times Radio is available to listen without a subscription on DAB digital radio, online via the Times Radio app and on your smart speaker. Times Radio.
eBay, online, on the app, and on your smart speaker. Tally-ho for Cheltenham, St Patrick's Thursday. Talk Sport. Talk Sport.
Lookers Vans. New or used, Lookers Vans will keep your business moving. Lookers, a good deal. Better.
With your midday headlines, I'm Steve Forbes. In the last hour, Ben White signed a new contract at Arsenal until the summer of 2028. The defender's made 122 appearances for the Gunners since joining from Brighton nearly 4 years ago. But will he get the chance to get back into the international fold? Our England correspondent Faye Carruthers says it's been a constant question for Gareth Southgate since White left the 2022 World Cup camp.
Gareth Southgate has been asked repeatedly about Ben White, and he's arguably England's best right back this season as well for Arsenal. He's put in some fantastic performances, scored some goals as well.
The England squad for the upcoming friendlies against Brazil and Belgium will be announced at 2. Kevin De Bruyne won't be facing England though. The midfielder's been ruled out with a groin injury, with Belgium also set to face the Republic of Ireland. It's reported that Reading have agreed to sell their training ground to neighbouring Wycombe Wanderers less than 5 years after it was opened. Spartak Moscow forward Quincy Promes has been arrested in Dubai after being sentenced to 6 years in jail in his native Netherlands. The former Dutch international was found guilty last month of trafficking over 1,000 kilos of cocaine from Brazil. Prosecutors are requesting extradition of the 32-year-old. And ex-England bowler Darren Gough says it was an absolute honour to spend 2 seasons as Yorkshire's managing director of cricket after stepping down from the role. A reminder, we'll have more live racing from Cheltenham today, starting at 1:30.
Talk Sport.
News. Anti-fascist group Hope Not Hate claims far-right activists are setting up a network of gyms and martial arts clubs to radicalise young men. And if you're looking for a second-hand car, you're being advised to consider a Toyota Yaris, which has been crowned the UK's most reliable used car. Amelia will have more on those stories in half an hour.
Talk Sport weather with Quick Fit. Keep your car safe on the road this winter. Visit your local centre or quickfit.com for tyres, MOTs and batteries, so you can drive away happy every time.
Another cloudy day for most of us, with some showers that will be heavy in places, and for day 3 at Cheltenham, a cloudy day with some light rain this afternoon and a moderate breeze.
100% engagement. Jim White and Simon Jordan on Talk Sport.
Our own little national treasure, Spencer Oliver, has just crept under the door and has joined us for the final hour today, because we are about to embark on another hour of boxing chat, of course, before we go at 1 o'clock. Spence, how are you, mate?
Jim, very well. Rewind that, crept under the door.
Yes. Well, you're one of the few people.
I walked straight through it, huh?
Oh, yes. Yes,
Crept under the door in Cuban Hills after that.
And then the cat crept in and crept out again. I think that done a
award-winning, best-selling author.
has done a U-turn. And is now referring to your friend and mine, AJ Anthony Joshua, after seeing off MMA fighter Francis Ngannou. He's calling AJ a national treasure. He's back to national treasure status. He said that in his hugely watched column in the Mail.
Yeah, I heard this, and I sort of wanted to elaborate a little bit more on this, Simon, because this massive U-turn, this massive turnaround from
U-turn,
and a guy that I've been backing the whole time, by the way, and a guy that I've been backing the whole time when the chips were down with AJ, the ups and the lows. I said this kid will come back, and he's done it. And I'm so glad that he actually waved the white flag and done a massive U-turn.
Oh, this is going to be a difficult fight. He's got a great chin. Ultimately, he's never been knocked down. All that rubbish, right? All of you sat there with your thumbs up the backside of the weekend going, oh, look at that. The reality is dawned upon us.
Come on, let's be honest.
What I did was
I've
say
always
to you,
said,
come on now, Anthony Joshua should be celebrated for doing a job to reignite the heavyweight division, get rid of this ridiculous argument about MMA crossovers, and he did it.
Yeah,
So
but for the sake of boxing,
yes,
he had to win it.
That's my point.
So to a large extent, he saved your sports fence.
again, he saved us, not for the first time. And I mean, Simon, I've always said Anthony Joshua will go down in the history books. He will become a 3-time world heavyweight champion. That looks likely now. In the landscape of heavyweight boxing, that looks very likely now.
You've always said that.
I have always said that, stood by that. And you look at where Anthony Joshua is placed in the heavyweights right now.
He has a massive opportunity.
But also you would put him in against any of them right now on that performance with that newfound confidence.
Come on, an MMA fighter.
Come on, Simon, be honest.
He did to an MMA fighter what someone else should have done.
That MMA fighter done to Tyson Fury. What about that? What he done to Tyson Fury?
Because I think it was a ridiculous performance from Tyson Fury.
Oh, you can't say that.
And you have accepted the principle that Tyson Fury will bear no resemblance, you said this, to the fighter that fought Ngannou against Usyk.
Absolutely.
Now, Anthony Joshua would likely win a third world title because he's likely to fight Filip Hrgović, who I picked him to beat. So he will get the ultimate outcome as a result of it, and he did his job that others should have done, which is regain the credibility and composure of the conversation by winning against Ngannou and doing it in a convincing fashion.
Regain the credibility of the sport of boxing and of himself.
I think boxing's reputation was firmly on the line.
Absolutely.
He absolutely had to win it. And win it in a devastatingly impressive fashion, which he did.
He went out there and that was an unbelievable performance. You can't say that wasn't an unbelievable performance.
Why should I be denying it? The point is...
No, we're not referring to that.
Spencer
knows what he's talking about. He used to fight...
Right, so let's stop the rise. You're an Anthony Joshua fan.
You define what's the playground.
I'm an admirer of people that do things well. I'm neither a fan, an acolyte like yourself. I'm just an honest, impartial observer.
You cannot say you're not an Anthony Joshua fan. You're a boxing fan. You have to be.
I think he should be praised for his achievements on the weekend.
Inspiration in and out.
I think he should be. What happens with you guys is you run with the hare and you hump with the hounds. Last week it was how good Ngannou was going to be and how robust he is. And now all of a sudden we're back to where we should have been in the first place.
Yeah, having said that...
Come on, Jim. Weigh in.
What I would ask you is this, Spencer, in all honesty. How much realistically has his stock risen as a result of getting the win, but it was against Ngannou?
Massively. Because massively risen. Because it's all about Anthony Joshua and having that confidence in his own ability and delivering what he does. Because if you look at Anthony Joshua's always had the technical ability, the physicality, he's always had that. But he's not had the confidence in his own belief to deliver that and to execute that. And I think what we found now is that he now believes in himself. The team up with Ben Davison has been a great one, and he showed that. He went out there and he done to an MMA fighter what a boxer should do.
Correct.
He went out there and he systematically destroyed him.
Let's characterise it that way. And if his stock has increased, because he certainly has in terms of regaining credibility, then the feeble-minded are the ones that his stock has risen, because he should beat Ngannou. He's had 4 fights over the last year. We still have the question to be answered. When he gets one on the whiskers, will we see Anthony dig deep? The argument is that he will. And the argument was over the last 12 months, which lots of people said, lots of fighting people said, Carl Froch, Barry McGuigan, a variety of people that have no skin in the game besides people's belief that Carl gets irritated about the Rob McCracken situation, that Anthony Joshua's light had gone out. Now, the 4 fights that he has fought in, none of them stuck it on him. We'll see. I think he'll get a lot of
largely to do with him. I know he was a bit of the job in hand more than anything else.
To some extent, but Helenius didn't come to fight. Neither did Jermaine Franklin.
Simon,
Wally was negated, and Ngannou was an MMA fighter.
Yeah, but
Let's
AJ
just characterise it properly.
AJ never allowed them to do that. That was the point.
And that's the other side of the argument.
That's the
And
point.
that's a fair observation
That,
too.
you know, he basically took their attributes away, and that's what a great fighter does. So that's what he done. So when you say
a great fighter does that to other great fighters.
Look what Otto Wally done with Tyson Fury
2 years ago, and everyone makes the argument. That's his bones, right? He made his bones on the back of the loss against Fury. I want to see Anthony Joshua.
Incredible performance. What did Joshua went in there and absolutely smashed him to pieces?
He's right with that. Indeed, but what we want to see to complete the circle. No, he's right about that. Complete the circle is when Anthony Joshua goes in against the elite heavyweights, which is going to be potentially the argument about Hrgovic and potentially Usyk or Fury again. We will see if the circle is completed. I hope it is, because I think what he did on the weekend regained credibility for himself and the sport. But I'm not going to run off down the road waving a banner telling everybody that ultimately everything is right in the garden. I've said it's a national treasure because I think it's a fair observation given what Fury put out. Fury made it a farce.
Yeah.
Fury made it a farce.
Yeah. Listen,
you have to ask, where does it leave a boxer fighting someone from MMA? We put that to Dan Hardy, who of course has MMA credentials.
With the direction that combat sports are going, I always think there's going to be intrigue around these types of fights. I mean, especially at heavyweight. You know, we've got a guy now called Renan Fahedou, 6'8", and straight away, as soon as he won his last fight, John Jones, who I'm sure you guys will be aware of, said that he would be able to beat Francis Ngannou. So Ngannou's coming back into MMA to fight another really, really tough individual that could potentially be problematic in the boxing world as well. I don't mind it personally. I like these crossovers. I think they're a bit of fun. And I think prize fighters, you know, if the money's on the table and the intrigue's there, then go and get it.
Yeah, Dan Hardy says he likes these crossover fights, and there's still a bit of fun. We don't normally do this in the boxing hour, but I'm going to do it today. You can see the response we get when we talk football. I'm quite confident the response will be the same talking boxing. What do you think? Crossover fights, is that it? Are you done with them now? We saw how Ngannou hit the hay, hit the canvas big time when AJ connected with him. And we had enough crossover fights. Is that it? Should we put them in the back burner now for good? And on AJ, has he changed your mind for you? Should he now be regarded as a national treasure, or do you still doubt that he could do it? Say if he gets in the ring with Tyson Fury, would it be Fury for you and not AJ? Where do you stand in all of that? Do you want the endo of these crossover fights? 03717 223344 81089 seconds out.
White and Jordan on Talk Sport with Selco Builders Warehouse. With the Selco app, it's now even easier to fly from Selco. Download it for free from the App Store today.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to run! In the left corner, undefeated since 2016, the Titan of the Turf, Ireland! In the right corner, the hometown hero, Britain! Yes, the greatest rivalry in racing is ready to resume at Cheltenham, and it's bound to be a knockout. Whatever happens, Paddy Power will be in your corner, weighing in with a completely free bet on any race on Thursday at Cheltenham on the Paddy Power app. Paddy Power, online exclusive. Once one free, £1 to £25 bet per customer. Free bet expires each day. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. Become aware to talk.
The biggest rugby tournament of the year is coming to a Green King pub near you. Watch all the unmissable action live as Europe's top six battle it out for glory in the Six Nations tournament. Leave your rivalries at the door and get the team together to watch the Six Nations. Feel the excitement and the buzz of coming together to enjoy matchday food and drink at your nearest Green King sports pub. The Six Nations at Green King. 18 plus. Drinkware.co.uk.
At BetMGM, we know that Cheltenham is the greatest show on turf. So let's bring in the horses. Make that 20 horses tearing up the hill. Now cue the Cheltenham roll. That's more like it. And BetMGM's offer, bet £10 and get £60 in free bets. Welcome to fabulous Cheltenham. BetMGM, it's showtime.
New customers only. T's and C's and minimum supply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
Holly cinched it. Yes! The Pollock family have cinched it. Yet the nation have cinched it by buying their perfect car online. With helpful financing options and an instant online part exchange price for your old car. Plus a guarantee for the price quoted. So with financing options, an instant online valuation and a guaranteed part exchange price, join the nation in absolutely cinched it. Search Cinch and buy your next car today. Guarantee subject to car's accurate description, T's and C's apply.
On average, Rift get their customers £3,000 back.
Hi, neighbour. Run, Foley.
Let's get the ball rolling. Search Rift Tax Refunds.
Here they are, the racing lovers of the UK, phone in hand, ready to play the Coral Reward Shaker. Look at them shake. We've got the regulars at the racecourse shaking their phone with confidence. And look, they've won a free bet. Parents on a day out just happy to be here. They've got it too. An odds booster for them. Lovely stuff. Everyone's a winner. Play Coral's free reward shaker this Cheltenham to win guaranteed daily rewards and offers. Coral, we're here for it.
18 plus UK. Max one reward or offer per player per day. Reward restrictions, requirements and T's and C's apply. Take time to think.
Explore traffic and travel with MyDear, driving down the cost of cooling and heating. Accelerate your MyDear journey with free training at one of our in-stadium MyPro academies. MyDearUK.co.uk.
In Worcestershire this afternoon, the northbound M5 severe delays and 2 lanes closed because of an earlier lorry fire. Junction 8 for the M50 to Junction 7 at Worcester. In West Yorkshire, the M62 westbound, all lanes are now open after the emergency repairs have been completed. Junction 22 Rushford Moor to Junction 23 from Milnrow. And also too in Lincolnshire, in South Witham, the A1 south, there's a lane closed there at the moment due to an accident. That's going to affect you around South Witham at Broadgate Road. Of course, traffic's looking a little bit busy there at the moment. I'm Andy Hilbert.
Live Championship football.
On Top Sport 2. High intensity, expressive football.
And it's an absolute cracker. Swansea versus Cardiff. Coverage from 12. Kick-off.
12:30 Saturday afternoon.
On TalkSport 2. Sensational goal!
No one else brings you more.
Oh wow, so many of you want to get involved in this discussion with Spencer, myself and Simon regarding these so-called crossover fights. When someone from MMA, Francis Ngannou, of late, takes on one of our top boxers. AJ of late, last Friday, as recently as last Friday, AJ did what Tyson Fury couldn't do and absolutely knocked him flying. It was the end of Francis Ngannou. We will not see him back in the boxing ring. Should that be the end of these crossover fights? Simon says in his hugely read column in the Mail this morning with that cheeky picture of him, there is nothing about these crossover fights that benefits boxing. Do you agree with that? Are you with Simon on that? Spencer, I think you've had your fill of them as well, have you not, to be honest?
Well, I think that was always the biggest draw, wasn't it? Francis Ngannou was always the biggest draw. He's huge in his sport, his discipline, crossing over, putting that performance against Fury. You think, well, this could be something that's ongoing now, but the way that Anthony Joshua dealt with him in that fight, yeah, I think that's it. Francis Ngannou, by the way, has retired. I've seen reports that he has retired from boxing. He's going back into his own discipline, which is
retired.
Yeah. So I go like when you look at it, you go. Who was the first one that done that? Conor McGregor, wasn't it, versus Mayweather? And you saw how that one went. That was a bit of a farce. That was a bit of a circus. He couldn't compete with someone like Mayweather.
The difference with this one, Stretch, was the one that upset me the most, Jim, and I was upset, was it's one thing crossover is lower down the food chain. But when it's a crossover at the top of the sport, and you're bringing the elites into it, and the elites are
When it starts to go to the capability of boxing, that's why Anthony Joshua did the boxing world a solid by reminding people what an elite heavyweight champion looks like.
He restored the faith in boxing because that was absolutely like that was
Many people want to say this, these crossover fights, have we had our fill of them? Albeit they've been brief on the scene, but should we see the back of them now? 03717223344. Michael's a Tottenham fan and a big boxing fan presumably as well. Michael, what do you make of it all? These so-called crossover fights, you had enough?
As a viewer, no, I haven't, because I think they always are spectacular to watch. Because of what happened, as you say, with Martin at the weekend. But I do agree with Simon in that it doesn't do boxing many favours, because at that particular level, you take one punch and the utterly unexpected could well happen. So I agree with Simon there. Spencer, I have to absolutely disagree with you. And again, Simon with regard to AJ. Essentially, he did not cancel Ngannou because he only fought him once.
Oh, Michael, we're just losing Michael. He seems to be driving some mistakes there.
It makes a lot of sense.
Family member rang up there, Simon,
It makes a lot of sense.
Let's go to Steve, who's a Manchester United fan, but a boxing fan no doubt as well. Steve, where do you stand on this? I mean, has AJ done us all a big favour by knocking out a crossover fighter like Ngannou and maybe cementing the end for fights like those?
Yes. Let's hope so, anyway.
I can't stand these crossover fights. I can't stand all the misfit stuff. You know, let's just get rid of it and get back to boxing. It's doing boxing no favours. However, on Anthony Joshua, I have to say I love Anthony Joshua, and I felt really, really bad for him in the time that he's been going through, where he's, you know, sort of lost his confidence, he's in a dark place. But we cannot just give him a free pass because he beat Otto Wallen. Who was Otto Wallen ever? I mean, you know, Fury has a bad match.
He was the guy that cut Fury really badly in a fight. Could have been stopped and took Fury all the way, lost on points. That was also Wally. So at that stage, he was considered a threat.
Yeah, I just don't think he's ever been a threat in any of the other fights that he's been in. He only came to the front of boxing by that night he had with Fury. The other thing I would say is this, and I know I'll get blasted for it. Who is Tyson Fury? I mean, you compare Tyson Fury with Anthony Joshua, and I'm sorry, but, like, Anthony Joshua has got all the better skill sets. I firmly believe Anthony Joshua beats Tyson Fury. I think the question around Usyk is a much bigger thing. However, I do agree, we can't all just get excited and give Anthony Joshua a free pass and say, yeah, you know, he's back, he's going to smash everything up and win all the title battles. I think it's a really interesting time.
He's put his name back in the mix, that's the point.
Yeah. Here's Ollie, another fight fan. Ollie, where do you stand on all of this regards crossover fights? I mean, is it time up for them?
Yeah, you're right, fellas. Nice to speak to you. Yeah, I think it is, to be honest. I mean, the thing is, what happened to Ngannou should be happening 100% of the time whenever a pro boxer fights an MMA fighter. As you can imagine, if a boxer went and tried his hand in the octagon, he'd probably get done within the first couple of minutes as well. I think Fury sort of gave some of the MMA guys a bit of false hope. Obviously, it wasn't his best on the night. But yeah, like I said, you've seen what happened with McGregor, seen what happened with Ngannou now. I think it's time for it, to be honest. But yeah, obviously I really like Ngannou. He's got a really good backstory and everything. But you know, you can't expect a top MMA guy to mix it with any of the top shooters, really, can you?
Ollie, one of many good calls. Thank you very much indeed. Craig's another. Craig, good afternoon to you. Where do you stand on it all, mate? Well, we've seen the last of Ngannou and his type.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me on.
No problem, Craig.
I feel that with the Ngannou thing, yeah, it's done and dusted now. He'll go back into his own thing and dominate that again. I don't think there's a better MMA fighter in the heavyweight position anymore. When it comes to Anthony Joshua, though, whoever that caller was before saying who's Tyson Fury, we all know Fury's going to wipe the floor with Joshua, in my opinion. At the end of the day, who is Joshua for that's in their prime other than Usyk? That's how I see it. Because, yeah, he's a knockout merchant. He's brilliant at what he does, but Fury is more technically gifted. He can knock out people, or he can just take you to 12 rounds and embarrass you. So, with Fury against Ngannou, yeah, he weren't at his best. You could tell he didn't train properly, you could tell he didn't take him seriously. But when we see Fury against Usyk, we'll see the proper Fury, and I think Fury will do Usyk.
Okay, that'll be music to the ears, no doubt, of Frank Warren, who I think is listening to our show this lunchtime, as they all do out there. Thank you for that. Rob, big Man United fan, take us to the 12:30 bulletin then, Rob. Crossover fights, is it goodbye to them at last after what Joshua did on Friday night in Riyadh to Ngannou?
Guys, firstly, thank you for having me on. I think it depends. I don't think it does anything good for either sport. I think potentially gone. It depends if the fans want it. However, I want to see it the other way. So I'm more of an MMA fan than a boxer. I would love to see a high-level boxer get in the cage. I think it won't happen because of ego. So Eddie Hearn said it about Anthony Joshua when he won the fight. He's the baddest man on the planet. I'm sorry, but that moniker belongs to John Jones. Ngannou was never the baddest man on the planet. He's much like Deontay Wilder. He's got the dynamite in his hands, which is ultimately the great equalizer. He's not.
Turn it up, please.
Yeah. That belongs to John Jones. They will say the money isn't there. That's why they wouldn't cross over. Their ego will stop them going in the cage and getting the floor wiped with him within 2 minutes. Much like happened to James Toney 14 years ago when he fought Randy Couture. We all saw how that happened. Nothing different would happen. It would be much the same. It's the ego that would prevent it.
Wow, yeah, Rob, thank you very much indeed. Interesting. Like a cross-section here, which is what we're all about.
Absolutely, Jim. I think for me, it's all about, we live in a world now of entertainment. It's what people want to see. People want to see crossover fights. You're bringing the different audiences together.
Yeah.
And I think that works. I think that is going to work. It will continue to work because I think the criticism that surrounds it will always create the hype. And I think that's where we're at with it. It's not going to be the last time. Didn't Muhammad Ali have some crossover fight many years ago? Some Japanese wrestler or something, wasn't it?
Yeah. The argument never goes away, Spencer, about as and when it happens, who wins, AJ or Fury. That's always going to rage on. Quite interestingly, even though the topic was about crossover fighters coming into the boxing ring, inevitably AJ Fury came up as a topic. Do you think all day AJ wins that?
No,
as and when they ever fight?
Myself and Simon talked about this actually on that award-winning podcast that you talked about, Talk Boxing.
It's very good.
It's out now on the Boxing YouTube channel. Anyway, I'll get that in. Yeah. But where we was at was 12 months ago, Jim. We're talking it's an 80-20 in Fury's favour. Now we're talking it's a 50-50. You look at where Anthony Joshua is now. His confidence is reinstalled, which is important. Fury's coming off a bad performance. That doesn't mean to say that he's gone backwards. It could be for a number of reasons, but it makes it interesting, and it's a real 50-50 fight.
50-50 sound. You go with that?
Different version of Tyson Fury goes.
But that's the point. That's why it's 50-50.
Yeah. If Tyson Fury goes back into the ring after beating Usyk and resembles, after he beats Usyk and resembles the Tyson Fury that I look back on, I think he beats Anthony. That's not a prejudice. It's not a bias. And I like Fury and I don't like Joshua. Nothing to do with it. I just think in that fight, Fury, if he's at his best, will beat Anthony Joshua. But the questions about Joshua are now more significant because he's had this period of a year getting himself back into groove. He will likely win a world title if he fights out over Edge. And the most fascinating thing is that we might get this fight.
So I think he's reinstalled the confidence and belief in people. To be honest, because he was written off. He went through a tough time. And I think he's reinstalled that confidence back in people with his recent performances. I know that you talk about the quality of opponent.
He was questioned.
He was.
And that's what goes with territory.
Already. And now AJ, according to Simon, is a national treasure. Now we're at 12:30. A lot to get between now and 1.
On TalkSport with Selco Builders Warehouse. Order online for free delivery at selcob2.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to jump. In the left corner, undefeated since 2016, the titan of the turf, Ireland. In the right corner, the hometown hero, Britain. The greatest rivalry in racing is ready to resume at Cheltenham, and it's bound to be a knockout. Paddy Power will be in your corner, weighing in with our safer gambling tools. Before all the action, it's a good idea to set yourself a budget for your betting at Cheltenham by using our deposit limit tool so that you don't go over it. Paddy Power, 18+ begambleaware.org.
This is it. 23. Final.
Let's go.
Let's go. Guys!
I need power. Turbocharge your gaming and reduce lag with EE Game Mode. Even when everyone's online, this is broadband made for gaming from the UK's fastest major broadband provider. Search EE Broadband, powered by BT. EE Game Mode requires EE Smart Hub Plus. Software and ee.co.uk/claims.
The Cheltenham Roar. The signal for 4 days of thrills and spills and hills. And it's a good bet you'll love Virgin Bet's Roaring Festival offer. It's money back as a free bet up to £5 if you lose the first race every day. And you're off. Start every day of the Cheltenham Festival with money back as a free bet up to £5 if you lose the first race. Virgin Bet, a good bet. Place bet within 48 hours of race. Main market win part of each way bet. Max free bet £5 valid 7 days. T's and C's apply. 18+. Bet responsibly. Begambleaware.org.
Investing with AJ Bell feels so good. You'll just want to ring that bell anywhere, anytime. In the office, in the pub, on the bus, on a ship, on a train, in the rain, in the gym, in the library, at a wedding, at a librarian's wedding. You can even ring it in space. Unravel the water. Or just a good old-fashioned cowbell. Yes, that's the sweet sound of investing with AJ Bell. AJ Bell, feel good investing. The value of investments can go down as one's up.
Nice grooming. It must be great with Skull Shaver products. Smooth and fast head shaving experience with Pitbull Shaver. 90 seconds and done. For face shaving, one light shaver with innovative features. Do you need a simple haircut? Use Beast Clipper. 5 minutes and done. Do you need to shave your back or somewhere else? We have easy and fast solutions. For ladies, beautiful and fast Butterfly Kiss Shaver. Skull Shaver products have over 100,000 5-star reviews worldwide. Find out what's new in grooming at skullshaver.co.uk.
You can ride a winner of any big race, but what happens next? Well,
The Cheltenham Festival is here. But with Betfair, you can get a completely free bet on racing multiples, available every day of Cheltenham. Enjoy the biggest racing event of the year with Betfair.
Opt-in and deposit required. Free bet varies £1 to £10, max 1 per day. Free bet valid on selected dates only. Min-odds exclusions and T's and C's apply. 18 plus with gambleware.org.
On 1089 and 1053 medium wave. On your mobile and on your smart speaker. Tally-ho for Cheltenham. On Talk Sport. Talk Sport News.
Good afternoon, I'm Amelia Beltrao. It's claimed that far-right groups are setting up a secret network of gyms and martial arts clubs to radicalise young men. Campaigners say some members of the active club include people who've marched with the banned organisation National Action. Nick Bowles, who's head of Hope Not Hate, told us this is a worrying trend.
Obviously, men together, it's a very masculine world, a very aggressive world, but when you've got the mix of hardline fascist and Nazi ideas with martial arts, with fighting, then that becomes quite dangerous.
New Campus Community Secretary Michael Gove announced a new definition of extremism, saying the government has no intention of restricting freedom of expression. He also listed a number of organisations that are now a cause for concern under the new definition. It's part of a drive to clamp down on the Islamist and far-right extremism that's intensified since the Israel-Hamas war. A 17-year-old has pleaded guilty to the manslaughter of 15-year-old Eliane Andam. The teenager died after she was repeatedly stabbed while walking to school in Croydon in September. However, the plea was not accepted and a trial will take place later this year. A volcano spanning 280 miles has been spotted on Mars. Scientists say its size and complex modification history suggests it's actually been active for a very long time.
Talk Sport with Bostik. If you're looking for professional grade sealant that offers technologically advanced performance, choose Bostik Pro Sealants.
After being awarded a contract extension at Arsenal, does Ben White deserve an England call-up? And David Moyes says West Ham can draw on previous European experience as they look to overturn a 1-goal deficit against Freiburg. Max will have more of that at 1 o'clock.
More games, more goals, more live football than ever on Talk Sport and Talk Sport 2. It's game on. Every week, get a midweek football throwdown. Brilliant football! Live commentary of the massive Champions League run-ins. Top European quality! Selected Premier League matchups. Oh, yes! Outstanding Europa League showdowns. What a goal! Plus, colossal coverage of the biggest championship clashes. He's done it! That's the midweek football. Each and every week on Talk Sport and Talk Sport 2.
It is Jim White, Simon Jordan and Spencer Oliver. We're talking boxing this Thursday lunchtime. This is Thursday, March the 14th. And we are live on TalkSport, also streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. You can see Simon, if you're watching on YouTube and Facebook, dipping into his man bag and pulling out some kind of a device. We're not quite sure what he's up to, but that has been very much the case since 10 o'clock this morning. Stay with us. Spencer, as often happens in boxing, you get boxing families, and the Edwards family is another example of that. We all know about Sonny, but what about brother Charlie? Charlie Edwards will launch his bid to become a two-weight world champion when he headlines at York Hall on Friday, April the 12th. He goes in against a fella who looks pretty darn good on paper, 17 fights. And he has blitzed his way through most of them. Francis George Ori for the WBC International Silver Bantamweight title. Charlie Edwards joins us live. Charlie, good afternoon to you, mate. How are the preparations going?
Good afternoon. Preparations are going great. Everything's going smoothly in training camp. Teamed up with Stephen Smith, as we all know, the Smith brothers, very successful family, and I've just come on leaps and bounds with them. My confidence is in full flow. and I'm really, really looking forward to getting back in there on fight night and showcasing what I've been working so hard to do behind the scenes. Things haven't really gone my way in the ring over the last 18 months. I've had a few decisions away from in the boxing world, away from the lights and the cameras. But now I'm with signed a promotional deal with Wasserman, a 4-fight deal. And my first fight's on April the 12th, live on Channel 5. And I think I've landed at the right place at the right time, and I'm just ready to go.
Yeah, Charlie, I wanted to talk to you about that. So you were former WBC flyweight champion, everything was going really well for you. You lost your title, and you seemed to disappear there for a little while, 18 months, 2 years, or whatever it was. I know you had problems outside of the ring, contractual stuff, etc. You are back now. You're with one of the famous Smith family, Stephen Smith, who was a great fighter himself, up there in the Rotunda gym. A brilliant atmosphere, brilliant fighters surrounding you there. I mean, it must have been a tough 18 months or so for you, and it must be good, feel good to be back.
Yeah, it feels so good to be back, back where I belong, you know. These last 2 years have been very, very tough to get through promotionally, managerial, but I'm managing myself now, and all the hard work I've put in has finally paid off by getting me back on terrestrial TV now, which is a big platform to be on, and one I will be able to showcase my skills on. This fight has come at short notice with only 5 weeks down to the fight, but for me it's been a 2-year training camp. I've lived and breathed the sport of boxing and never stepped foot out of the gym. So I'm looking forward to showcasing to everyone how hard I've been working, and you're only as good as your last fight, so once we get this fight over the line against a good opponent and want to pick up a title, I hope to make a lot of noise.
Yeah, I mean, you are coming back, and you are coming back against a former European champion, so it is, you know, it is an ambitious step up in weight and an opponent. But what is the roadmap for you, Charlie? Where, you know, what is the dream? Obviously, to become a 2-weight world champion, bantamweight is that dream. What's the roadmap for you? Where would you like to see yourself in the next 12 months?
Oh, of course, I'd love to see myself as world champion in the next 12 months. I've got a 4-fight contract, which is 12 to 16 months. It's got to be fulfilled, so I'm going to be an active and busy fighter again, which every fighter needs in this day and age, and not a fighters get enough of it. So that's the ultimate main goal. But I can't look past George Azori. He's a great fighter from France, like you said, former European champion and IBO world champion, and he's operated at some top level of boxing. He's also a southpaw, and he's also a tricky operator, but it's an operator that I picked and wanted to come back in because I want to be in the meaningful fights, and it made sense to me, and it made sense to Channel 5, and that's why I'm headlining live on Channel 5, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Charlie, you're very, very much like your brother Sonny. I mean, not only can he fight, but he can talk, and so can you. There was talk, Charlie, that at some stage you and Sonny actually might get in the ring and fight each other. Was that ever a viable prospect?
It was never really going to ever materialise. It was more of kind of like a media stunt and to keep our names out there and on the forefront, and it worked. It worked massively. It kept me in a quiet stint of my career, my name out there, whether it would be bad or good at the time. It worked, and Sonny got even bigger, and then he went on to the BAM fight, and it was a massive thing, and then we teamed up again, and we were sparring amongst each other, and I helped him prepare for the BAM fight, and we're brothers, you know what I mean? We're blood brothers, we love each other dearly, and we support each other more than anyone would ever see in the media. So it was just one of them things. I think it worked well, and now I'm back in a positive light. I'm live on Channel 5. I was all received very well when me and Sonny teamed back up again before his big fight, and we'll be there supporting each other on the night. He's going to be commentating on my fight as well. So all things Edwards in 2024.
Listen, Charlie, I want to go back a little bit there on, you know, the struggles that you had in the last 18 months or so, you know, out of the ring, that inactivity and you know, the managerial, contractual problems that you had, promotional problems that you had. How difficult has that been for a fighter? How difficult is it for a fighter that's been to where you've been to? You've been to the very top of the game, and you're there and you go, is it difficult to keep hope, or is it easy to lose hope?
100%. There was times where I did lose hope. There's times where I've been in tears and my wife's seen it and been there to support me through the tough time and the team around me. And there was times that I thought it was never going to come back. But I chose to go within and just keep working on myself, you know, and keep trying to have a positive mindset and taking one step forward every day. And the dark times, they can't last forever. It felt very dark at the time, but now look at me. I'm in a positive light. I'm back on national telly, and I'm back to my career. And I believe that this time I've had to go through. It's made me a different person. It's built a character inside of me, and it showed me how bad I really want it. So come fight night, and the hardest work and the hardest job is done. Now it's time to go and do what I do best, and that's put on a performance.
Right, you're credit to yourself, Charlie, honestly. Yeah, I was Sonny, incidentally, because he experienced defeat recently.
Yeah, he's in a positive mindset. He gets the boxing game, and listen, we're in the entertainment business, and when you fight the best, you come up short sometimes, and that's just the way it is. Records are for DJs, and they should never define a fighter, you know. And he'll bounce back strong. He's in a good mindset, and he wants to get back into the big time fights and big time boxing, and he's pushing on for a big fight, maybe June, July, and yeah, he's in good spirits, and he hasn't lost no confidence in that last fight. What happens when you go up against the best?
So what can you promise us then, Charlie? You go in April against this Frenchman, Georges Aurier. It seems to me that it's all going well. You're working with the Smith family now, but what can you promise us on the night?
A dominant, explosive performance. I'm here, I mean business, and I haven't felt like I have for a very long time. I'm happy, I'm a dangerous fighter, and I can see he's never been knocked out. He's been stopped on a cut, but I feel like I could get the knockout. I've seen flaws in him that I can expose, and I'm really looking forward to this challenge at hand, and you'll see the best Charlie Edwards on the night.
Brilliant. Charlie Edwards, thank you so much for being with us this lunchtime. Thanks, Charlie. Terrific. I mean, I don't, right, you know, I just think it's funny when he talks, they can talk.
Yeah,
brilliantly.
Yeah. They're both quite lads, they both express themselves well. It'll be interesting. Stephen Smith is a good trainer, and it'll be interesting to see, you know, obviously Charlie, you know, in the Martinez fight, got the decision, but so the other fellow got the decision, but it reversed out as a no contest. I mean, we'll see. I mean, obviously it must be quite difficult for him to have watched over a period of time where Sonny has had success.
That's why I asked that question, because I know that, you know, that is very difficult to deal with. You know, when you see Sonny and the rise that he was, and everyone was behind him, and talking about him being the best fighter pound for pound this country's got right now. Yeah. The rise was massive, and Charlie just seemed to disappear and vanish off the face of the earth. That must have been very difficult mentally for him.
Okay, so Charlie Edwards fights in York Hall here in London on Friday, April the 12th, and we are right across it. We like him a lot. We're coming up to 1:15.
White and Jordan on TalkSport with Selco Builders Warehouse. Get stacks of stock and hundreds of big name trade brands at SelcoBW.com. We've got it.
Here they are, the racing lovers of the UK, phone in hand, ready to play the Coral Reward Shaker. Look at them shake. We've got the regulars at the racecourse shaking their phone with confidence. And look, they've won a free bet. Parents on a day out just happy to be here. They've got it too. An odds booster for them. Lovely stuff. Everyone's a winner. Play Coral's free reward shaker this Cheltenham to win guaranteed daily rewards and offers. Coral, we're here for it.
18 plus UK. Max one reward or offer per player per day. Reward restrictions, requirements and T's and C's apply. Take time to think.
Happy birthday. May this year bring you happiness.
And XTB's investment plans.
Wait, what?
You don't know? XTB's investment plans are a great way to start achieving your goals.
Absolutely. Choose your desired ETFs. Select a funding methods like auto investing. Allocate your assets and you're good to go.
And the best part? It's zero commission.
Download the XTB app and start passive investing with investment plans. For monthly turnover equivalent to up to €100,000. T's and C's apply. Your capital is at risk. The value of your investments may go up or down.
You got a little wager with Paddy Power on this one then?
Yeah, mate. Big man to score anytime I'm backing him.
And it looks like it's the big man who's coming off. Oh, he's going to struggle to score from the bench, pal.
Oh, fear not, punter, because with Paddy Power's super sub, your bet carries over to the player coming off.
Yeah, ready for this?
So now, all subs are super. Paddy Power. Football, you're gonna love it. Valid on selected leagues and markets only. Pre-match and in-play bets on qualifying player outcome selections only. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18 plus BeGambleAware.org.
Woohoo! Dave's finally landed. Holiday mode activated. When he remembers.
Oh, forgot to send that email.
Luckily, Dave has swapped out his sports package for data roaming. So he can get back to his holiday.
Lovely.
Dave, you did put your out of office on, didn't you? Get inclusive extras as part of your plan, which you can swap monthly. So you can switch from your sports package to a Roma Broadpass. Search EE Mobile.
Available with all-rounder and full works plans. Terms apply.
We're BetMGM Sports and Casino. We know things aren't always golden. That's why we offer you the tools to keep your place safe. Set timeouts to always ensure ensure you take a break when you feel like you need. Set reality checks so you know exactly how long you've been playing. And set deposit limits to help control what you spend. Stay golden with BetMGM. Play responsibly.
18 plus. Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent on TalkSport Drive with Motorpoint. Destination sports conversation fueled by unfiltered opinion with quality guests as standard and a couple of motor mouths. Something's not right, is it? That's rubbish. It's the Daily Radio road trip that takes you to the farthest corners of the nation's football landscape.
I'm just going to be flat, chilling out.
Yeah, I think you might be my favourite so far, mate. Have a wonderful afternoon. TalkSport Drive this afternoon from 4 on TalkSport with Motorpoint. There's no car like a Motorpoint car.
TalkSport Traffic and Travel with My Dear, driving down the cost of cooling and heating. My Pro partners earn more when delivering 10-year warranties. Reroute to mydearuk.co.uk.
Currently in Worcestershire, the northbound M5, severe delay still in 2 lanes closed because of this earlier lorry fire. Junction 8 to the M50 to Junction 7 for Worcester. In Leicestershire, the M69 northbound, the lane closed there due to a vehicle having its tyre changed. Junction 1 at Hinckley and Nuneaton to the M1 at Junction 21 in Leicester, and also in Lincolnshire in South Witham, the A1 South, a lane closed there due to an accident at Broadgate Road at the South Witham and Thistle turn-off, of course, and in Suffolk, the A14, a lane closed for those emergency drainage repairs at Junction 37 for Newmarket. I'm Andy Hilbert.
Fancy an adventure? You could sail around the world solo. Boats are expensive, though. Maybe you could hack your way through the jungle to an ancient Mayan temple. Pricey too, and snakes. Or you could try the SEAT route to adventure, because right now you can buy any SEAT at 0% APR when financed with Solutions PCP. SEAT. Live bolder. Live better.
Offer ends April 2nd, 2024. Maximum 36-month term. Minimum 10% deposit. T's and C's apply. Indemnities may be required. SEAT Finance.
Welcome to the Coliseum of Confrontation. Jim White and Simon Jordan. Mid-mornings on TalkSport, the nation's primary destination for essential breaking sports news, triple distilled opinion and blistering debate. Take it to the limit with White and Jordan. Mid-mornings on TalkSport.
Now, this week and what's left of the Cheltenham Festival, you can enjoy it only on Racing TV, the only channel showing every race live. To celebrate, Racing TV are giving away a pair of tickets to the Randox Grand National, a 50-inch TV and a 1-year subscription to the channel. Racing TV will be live on air from 10 in the morning every day of the festival, over 30 hours of unmissable coverage. Don't miss a piece of Cheltenham and join Racing TV for half the price for an entire year. Head to racingtv.com now. Got to be 18 and over. Terms, conditions apply. You up for that, Simon?
Randox made a fortune out of COVID, didn't they?
Really?
Yeah.
That was nice.
They were testing laboratories, weren't they? Where you had to go get your testing COVID kits and stuff like that.
Spencer has been with us.
Maybe it's a bath salt. What's that? Radox?
Spencer has been with us since 12, and we're finishing off with someone who, not for the first time in boxing, thinks he was hard done by when it came to the judge's verdict. You know who I'm talking about here. Back in Riyadh on Friday night, Spence, Simon and I spoke to Nick Ball this week following the very disappointing, shall we call it, outcome to his fight when up against the Mexican Rey Vargas. It looked as though Ball had done more than enough to win it. But the judges went 116-110 Ball, 114-112 Vargas, and 113-113 the third judge declaring it a draw, and the whole thing was declared a draw, and now they've got to do it again, or maybe they won't. We don't know. But Nick Ball spoke to us this week, Spencer, and we asked him what Frank Warren, his promoter, had told him.
He said I should be world champion, and he thinks he can try and get the rematch, but I don't really know. I don't think that Vargas, he'd have to be getting paid for him to take it, so I'm not too sure. I'll probably find out this week. Later on in this week, I think I'll find out more. Hopefully he takes it and get another shot.
I mean, it was an incredibly great performance from Ball. Talk about plucky. He was all over the Mexican. It seemed that he'd won it. You thought he'd won it, Simon, yeah?
On the second half of the fight, absolutely.
The second half of the fight. And then this, again, it calls into the question of the process and the standard of the judging.
Absolutely. Look, it was a fight of two halves. I think that Vargas had Nick Ball's number in the first half of the contest. He was keeping the range well. He was working Nick Ball, struggling to close the range, close the distance. But he was so persistent. He is what his name is, the wrecking ball. And he just kept going, kept going. I think he had Vargas over in the 7th or the 8th, and again in the 11th. And that was the deciding factor. I think it was a fight of two halves. Vargas, it should have been like 115, 130. Nick Ball was definitely the winner, and the knockdowns determined that.
Right.
You know, because otherwise it would have been a very close fight, and the knockdowns determined a clear winner in Nick Ball in my eyes. I'm hearing June the 1st, he goes again, possible world title shot. I'm hearing Ray Vargas, actually, the WBA champion.
Ray Ford.
Yeah, Ray Ford, is the possible opponent. So
that's the 5v5, isn't it?
Yeah, 5v5.
Queensbury.
I mean, yeah, Ray Ford, that would be a great fight.
On the big better be of undercard.
Yeah, absolutely. But Nick Ball wins that one, by the way. I think it's too strong.
I think he knocks Ray Vargas again. I think he knocks him out.
Absolutely.
Regardless of that, though, Spencer, we're almost getting to the stage you're watching a fight and you think, right, now this is a bit interesting. What are they going to make of this? You know, when it comes to the judging's,
you know, I know they were talking about, like, they were talking about having 5 judges, weren't they, for the undisputed world title fight. We'll go, well, why would you have 5 judges? If you've got 3 incompetent judges, they shouldn't be there. Simple as that. 3 judges should be enough to determine a winner of a contest. I think that, you know, adding 5 judges in there, you go, well, what does that say about the judges that you're selecting? So I think, yeah, they definitely need looking at, because in recent times, we've seen some terrible decisions in recent times.
To Nick Ball, who we all understand and believe won that fight, he didn't win it 116, 110 either. So the scoring that was scored in his favour wasn't great either.
No, I sort of like, I'm looking 115, 130. He won it by 2 points, but clearly, because it was a very clear cut, wasn't it?
There's a debate about one of the knockdowns, but that's irrelevant. People don't like the knockdown. It was scored as a knockdown.
Exactly right. Exactly that.
They are, only human. So is it wrong of us to think that they might bring about perfection when it comes to that?
No, but you're not asking for perfection. You price in margins of error. We're not talking about perfection. There's no need for perfection to score Catterall versus Taylor. That's not that perfection. That's just competency or motivation. And the same thing here with Nick Ball. The guy was the world title holder. Nick Ball took the fight to him in the second half of the fight. Once he got his range, he got his feet in range, and he dropped him twice, and he was by far the better fighter. And irrespective of whether the guy won the first 5 or the first 6 rounds, which was debatable, probably more the case, Nick did enough in the second half of the fight to rip it away from him.
I totally agree. I mean, that's not us just saying this. This is the genuine consensus of everybody. So, you know, if everybody else can see it and the judges can't, then we have a problem.
Why can't they? Where is Joseph Parker then, to finish off with today, Spencer? He dispatched Zhilei Zhang and Deontay Wilder, really, in the space of 3 months, when you think about it. He's very much put himself back in the map, hasn't he?
Oh, wow, look, if you go back 18 months and the way that he was beaten by Joe Joyce, and you saw that, and it was like, it was a sort of brutal finish, really, that 11th round knockout. I remember looking at Parker and thinking, that could be your day done at the top. That was a brutal finish, that. Some fighters never really come back the same from something like that. 18 miles fast forward, and you beat Deontay Wilder, now Zhilei Zhang, and you look at him and this added newfound confidence again, and that belief to let his hands go. So we all know, always knew he had the ability, but maybe not the confidence to let his hands go. But I think Andy Lee, teaming up with Andy Lee, is probably a great partnership, and he put himself right back up there and right back up, you know, in the top mix. I mean, deservedly so. Yeah, I mean, if you think the negative performance he had against Anthony Joshua was
he's also done everybody a favour, because he's taken Zhang out of commission, because he was one of the most avoided heavyweights no one wanted, and by putting a dent in him and then tying, I think it's slightly unfair that he's got himself into a second fight, but I guess it was the price on the ticket. He's got to fight Zhang again because Zhang had the mandatory shot. So in order to get an opportunity, he does it again. Well, there's nothing left in that fight really.
No, absolutely. But I mean, you can mention like the likes like Anthony Joshua, Joseph Parker too. A fight that everyone would love to see now, because both guys have come on and they're different fighters now. It's a good fight again. I mean, I would. Would you? Why not?
Because I'd like to see Anthony go beat Hergovich win the world
I'm
title.
talking about, but what I'm saying is that they're the sort of fights now we can talk about again and go, I'd like to see that again.
It's only right for that conversation, Joseph.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah. On top of all that, there is a brilliant ambassador for his own sport, Joseph Parker.
Oh, absolutely.
What a guy as well.
What a lovely man. Yeah, he was. I mean, not that lovely. He didn't answer my text, by the way. I sent him a text to come on this show. Told him, you know, we've got this award-winning show that you've been on, Joseph, and, you know, I know you're not a big fan of Simon, but, you know...
I don't like it. I'm perfectly with Joseph Parker.
I'm very joking. He's at home spending time with his family, and rightly so as well. I mean, he lives over here in Morecambe, up there training with Tyson Fury and the Furies, and so he's spending some well-earned rest at home in New Zealand. So.
Good. Do you need me to text him, Spencer?
Please,
and I'll distance myself from Paul Neckboy. Okay.
Oh, yeah, he's wearing them. Right.
Yeah, they have different colours though, you see them different colours.
And we both had one on, and so I wore a black one in.
I noticed that.
You watching it?
Yeah, I was right. Well, somebody showed me. Spencer, thanking you, my friend. Absolutely wonderful. Simon, you and I are not here tomorrow. Sam Matterface will be on live with Arsenal Invincible, Martin Keown, who always turns up for his work on a Friday, and he'll remind us of that when we join him again next week. But anyway, they'll be on from 10 tomorrow. We're coming up to 1.
White and Jordan on Talk Sport with Selco. Register for your trade card online at selcobw.com or in one of our branches.
There are all sorts of fans who make racing what it is. The armchair expert who knows it all, right down to what the horse has for breakfast. The country gents head to toe in tweed, and the ladies with their extravagant hats. The banana-suited stag-do lads, and the nan who just backed the horse because it has a funny name. Whatever kind of racing fan you are, don't miss the Coral Daily Download every morning from 6 on the Superstar Breakfast on Talk Sport with Coral. We're here for it. 18 plus, BeGambleAware.org.
Let me just throw this idea at you. You may have paid too much tax. If you've spent money on tools, travel or food for work, Rift can help work out what you're owed and get a refund bouncing back to you. In fact, on average, Rift get their customers $3 grand back. Not bad, eh? Let's get the ball rolling. Search Rift Tax Refunds. Come on, search Rift Tax Refunds today.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to Cheltenham. In the left corner, undefeated since 2016, the Titan of the Turf, Ireland. In the right corner, the hometown hero, Britain.
Yes, the greatest rivalry in racing is ready to resume at Cheltenham, and it's bound to be a knockout. Whatever happens, Paddy Power will be in your corner, weighing in with a completely free bet on any race on Thursday at Cheltenham on the Paddy Power app. Paddy Power, although exclusive, plus one free £1 to £25 bet per customer. Free bet expires each day. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
You know how the best ideas come in the shower? Well, here's one for you. Switching to an energy-efficient shower head is more efficient because it saves water and can save you up to £40 a year on energy bills. And that's worth singing about. Shower, save, repeat. It all adds up. Find more energy-saving tips at gov.uk/save energy.
Make sure you're all set for kick-off on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. It's TalkSport Weeknight Fan Forum featuring your views and the opinions of TalkSport's top team of passionate pundits. Plus, get the latest form and odds before the whistle blows direct from Ladbrokes. And hear live commentaries of selected matches throughout the season. Kick-off, weeknights from 7 on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
On 1089 and 1053 Media Wave. Online, on your mobile, on the app, and on your smart speaker. Tally ho for Cheltenham. Talk Sport. Talk Sport.
With Lookers. Buy or sell your vehicle the simple way. Visit lookers.co.uk.
Well, good afternoon. We are live once again from Cheltenham Racecourse for day 3 of the festival. It's the unofficial Paddy's Day. It's St Patrick's Thursday this afternoon. We will be marking that. Charlie Baker is out and about on the course, putting together a special feature. We've got lots of top guests joining us as always. Sockley Park is with us, back in the traditional tweeds.
Yeah, I think he is.
Are you all right? Yeah, you're struggling there, Andy?
I am a bit.
Yeah. So, yeah, do stick with us. 4 live races with Rupert Bellamy.
His eyes come off.
I think that's not good, is it? Yeah, he needs surgery.
I know.
One-eyed Sockley. So anyway, yes, live racing, lots of guests. A T20 horse racing birthday spread for you to get involved in later on. And we're interested to know where you're watching Cheltenham unfold. Lots of people going abroad. We've seen loads of pictures from Benidorm, big groups of people there. People up in Scotland taking 4 days off to watch it.
Ridiculous.
But anyway, we're interested to know where you're watching it all unfold. You can send us a WhatsApp voice note this afternoon. 0371722 3344, wherever in the world you are watching the Cheltenham Festival. That's all to come. But first, Max Scott with the sports headlines.
Thanks, Paul. Good afternoon. Ben White signed a new contract, keeping him at Arsenal till the summer of 2028. But after his mysterious departure from the World Cup, will he get another chance for the national squad? We're bringing you Gareth Southgate's squad announcement for the international friendlies live at 2. Elsewhere, David Moyes says West Ham can draw on previous European experience as they look to overturn a one-goal deficit against Freiburg.
The biggest memory would be Seville, when we had to come from behind Seville. Against Seville, I should say, and at that time they were winners of the competition several times.
You can listen to all the action live on TalkSport 2 this evening. After a close encounter in Portugal couldn't separate Rangers and Benfica, they returned to Ibrox for the second leg with the scores level at 2-2. The TalkSport Simon Jordan says winning the SPL would be a bigger prize for Rangers.
I think it's unlikely that Rangers will win this competition, but I do think that Rangers can win the SPL, and that is probably an even bigger prize for them than ultimately winning a European competition.
A man from Essex has denied assaulting Roy Keane after he was allegedly headbutted following Arsenal's 3-1 win over United last September. 42-year-old Scott Law pleaded not guilty to charges of common assaults. And ex-England bowler Darren Gough says he's proud he steadied the ship at Yorkshire after announcing he stepped down as managing director of cricket. A reminder, we're bringing you live action from Cheltenham, starting with the Turners Novices Chase at past.
Talk Sport News.
The Community Secretary says the new extremism definition is to clamp down on Islamist and far-right extremism, and SpaceX is attempting a Starship rocket launch for a third time.
TalkSport weather with QuickFit, proudly supporting the NHS. Over 40, visit your local pharmacy for a free NHS blood pressure check today.
Another cloudy day for most of us with some showers heavy in places.
Fancy an adventure? You could sail around the world solo. Boats are expensive though. Maybe you could hack your way through the jungle to an ancient Mayan temple. Pricey too, and snakes. Or you could try the SEAT route to adventure, because right now you can buy any SEAT at 0% APR with finance with Solutions PCP. SEAT. Live bolder. Live better.
Offer ends April 2nd, 2024. Maximum 36-month term. Minimum 10% deposit. T's and C's apply. Indemnities may be required. SEAT Finance.
The Phillies, the Mags, and the Nosebags. Hawksby and Jacobs, live from Cheltenham. Live at Cheltenham.
This is Paul Hawksby and Andy Jacobs with you through until 4 here on TalkSport Weather this afternoon. We're coming to you live once again from Cheltenham Racecourse for day 3 of the festival with Paddy Power.
Coming up in the next 3 hours, we'll be joined by, amongst others, former Bluehead QPR Millwall midfielder Mark Bircham and Manchester United sporting journalist and author Jim White. Not him, the other one.
The other one, yeah. Charlie Baker will once again be out and about around the course, catching up with the celebs and the punters. He'll join us for a T20 horse racing themed birthday spread.
Yeah, it's not the highest quality activity. Quite hastily last night after a few wines. There's all this, plus no one is spared in my Cheltenham diary. I want 4 more live commentaries courtesy of Rupert Bell and ex-jockey Lizzie Kelly, who's doing brilliantly, including the Paddy Power Stairs Hurdle at 3:30.
That's all to come, yes. So we'll be having a chat with Paddy Power, marking your card very shortly. We are back to 7 races today after yesterday's drama. And yeah, so a busy one coming up as always. 5 minutes past 1. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Andy.
Good afternoon, Paul. And honestly, I was utterly rinsed yesterday with Pete Leety's AI tipping system.
Yeah, it didn't really work
way worse than Mick Fitzgerald.
Yes.
AI McCoy was a complete flop.
Yes.
And then he blamed me when I complained. He said it was because he sent it to me. I was the only winner I had yesterday. I picked myself.
You've got no right to complain.
No. So I was moaning to Crackers, Richard Cracknell, was here yesterday about it, and he reminded us of the legendary street tipster Prince Monolulu in the 1920s.
He used to stand at the top of Petticoat Lane Market and say things like, I've got a horse, I've got a horse.
And basically people would take him up on it, and if they won, he'd get a little sort of side.
Come back and say yes, a couple of quid.
He did every horse in the race, and he was better than Prince Monoliti. Can I just say I'm heartily sick of Willie Mullins?
Oh,
I prefer the Welsh trainer Willie Bubbins. Honestly.
Yeah,
don't stop winning.
We'll put this to Paddy later on. You want him banned?
I do. I want him banned.
You want him and Manchester City banned? Yes.
No, he's doing brilliant.
Right,
of course,
not much. Amazing.
Fantastic. Paddy's just joined us, and his horse pulled up in the Johnny Henderson yesterday.
Yes.
What's an actor's name? The good old dear Johnny Henderson.
Yeah, let's bring Paddy in, because
Paddy, are you all right?
Paddy, we did have a little sort of sentimental flutter on the horse.
Only $2.50 each.
$2.50 each way. You told us not to go big on it, and The horse is okay, no problems.
Yeah, it was all fine. I mean, as I kind of said yesterday, hated the ground. Now I backed it each way as well, just in case. But as it turned out, it was a big just in case because the horse pulled up and didn't enjoy it at all. But the good news is we have a new plan. The plan is to go to Aintree now. So that's great. We've got a few weeks in Aintree, so didn't have a hard race. Hated the grounds. The race said he wasn't enjoying it, so she just pulled him up and said, "Look, there's no point in leaving Aintree behind." And
no, it's good.
We'll talk horses in a minute, but it's very interesting that you're here. It's timely because we've got two new producers with us, and we thought we'll take them to the Queen's.
They're very young and good looking.
Yeah, they are, surprisingly, yeah.
We'll take them to the Queen's Hotel in the centre of town. It's a legendary place. It's, Paul always invites some flotsam to drink with us, and we can't even be bothered with if people join us. But it's normally 3 deep at the bar. Loads of people. The atmosphere's tremendous. Oh, it's like the Mary Celeste. I couldn't believe it. I've never seen it like that.
it's definitely a bit quieter. I mean, I was in the 131 just across the Queen's. You know, the new place with the tents.
Sure.
I was in there for dinner last night. Not that I can remember much of it, but anyway. But, and that was hopping like. But then I went at one stage. I went into Mindaloo, and there's another couple of bars inside that were closed. Like, so even though the main areas was hopping, but usually that'll be busier as well. So I think there is a little bit of.
Is it less Irish people? I sense less
There
Irish.
could be. I mean, you're talking about, like, you know, I was talking to a lad there a minute ago, and he was saying, I don't mean to be talking Chatham down, but like he's saying he's paying like, he's in an average enough hotel, he's paying like 400 quid a night, and you're kind of going,
that's not the course it's for.
Yeah, no, it's not, but you're getting gouged everywhere. There is a cost of living crisis.
Sure.
Like, it's just
the ticket prices are not cheap. The hotels push their luck, but they've always done that, and they've kind of always got away with it. And they would say that's their business.
I'm just trying to explain that to the missus. No, it's grand. Don't worry, you're going to spend like, you know, whatever, 1,600 quid in a hotel and any amount on pints of Guinness at 7.50 a pop or whatever. And I actually don't mind the Guinness at 7.50 because I think that's kind of the price it is.
Yeah,
It's not a million miles away, but yeah, I think you're getting done at a good few places. And I hate to talk it down. It is brilliant and it's great crack and everything, but there may be a little bit of a reset required.
Sure. Yeah. But we were saying earlier on that we saw some Bruce Millington, Racing Post sent out a video of some people in Benidorm, just hundreds of people on a big concourse with a big screen, and they've gone to the Sun to watch it. I think a lot of people do that.
Yeah, and I guess you'd be on Tuesday you'd be jealous enough when it's lashing rain outside, your cars stuck in the mud, but generally though, there is nothing like it when you're here. You know what I mean? You're here during the day, and I understand it was quiet in the Queen's and everything, but you're at the track, you can get the ball just outside the studio here. You see you have the door closed now because it's actually so busy out there, it's so noisy. We're in the Guinness stand, and there is a great buzz going around already, you know, and the sun is out today, and this is kind of what Cheltenham, it is what my memory of Cheltenham is. The sun is out, everyone's happy, the anticipation and the buzz before this. It's all about the pre, isn't it? Because nobody's back to loser yet.
So, do you want to put in my diary? Do you want to hear it?
Like the diary of Adrian Mole,
Rupert was like this. This was an anecdote. I actually shouldn't say who it's from because it might get him into trouble. But this fellow was having a Christmas Day drink at the Oddington pub, which is somewhere in the Cotswolds, when the entire Beckham clan walked in for their Christmas dinner. We think, doesn't Brooklyn do the cooking? You put the whole thing in the microwave. So they had their Christmas dinner there. What can you do? And Rufus, our producer there, was talking about giving up cigarettes because, you know, he used to smoke. He started vaping, but in the end he said he went cold chicken.
Yes.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, which is not as bad as cold turkey.
It's not as bad, really.
Cold chicken.
He's classic. We came across a small, black, unidentified object in the street.
Yeah.
So he decided to kick it while saying, "What is this?" You know, World War II hand grenade.
Plutonium. No, listen, but if you've seen something like that in the street, that's what I mean, you're going to do that. I was a kid running down the street with a stone thinking you were Bobby Charlton. Well, I did anyway, which is aging. I had a good night's sleep last night. I didn't drink a great deal. I had a good night's sleep. Yeah, woke up rather croaky, I think, because it's been noisy. A lot of shouting. So I'm looking at the medicinal quality today of the Guinness 0%. And I'm nursing it. Well, it's a kind of lubrication. It is. I'm a fan of the 0%, actually. I think they've done a very good job with it.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. I mean, it is kind of almost pointless calories, though, right?
Yes, I guess. Well, I'm hoping
it was a great day for Harry and Dan Skelton. Because
it really was.
I know their other brother, Elton Skelton. Should have, if I'd been in their parents, I definitely would have done that.
Yeah, exactly. You have to saddle your child with Elton Skelton for the rest of their life. Paddy, maybe we should have a look at the first race, shall we, this afternoon? What are we favouring in this one from your point of view?
So we just have, because we sponsored today, we have a box today, and Ruby was doing tips there earlier on, and he was surprisingly sweet on Facile Vega. It's the favourite for Willie Mullins and Paul Townend, but he was just saying that Willie just loves his horse, and the horse keeps disappointing on the track, to be honest. But he said, like, this is like Willie's extra child that he never had, type of thing. You know what I mean? He really, really loves his horse. And he said if it's ever going to be right, today is the day, because he's changed the way he trains and all the kind of stuff. He made a good case for it now. So it's 2-1, short enough price. He did fancy it strongly. I thought, actually, because he said there, Dan Skelton's in such good form, I actually thought Grey Dawning has a massive chance. He's kind of one of the favourites too. He's 5-2, but yes, I favour Grey Dawning, but Ruby Walsh, who knows slightly more than me about racing, fancies Facile Vega very strongly.
Patrick Mullins was on breakfast.
He was.
With Alan's gang, but
he was riding a horse. He said, sorry, I'm riding a horse.
He's riding a horse and it's acting up a bit. So he's doing an interview while he's on horseback. Got the old Bluetooth earphones.
They're mad. I don't think they're mad, are they?
Yeah, it's amazing. So, okay, well, that's it. What about race 2 today, the Baton?
Yeah, the Pretend final is, there's loads of plots here. There's more plots here than in the graveyard, but yeah, it's a big field, and people have been kind of planning for this race for quite a while. Ruby's dad actually trains number 16, Wei Kuhl, and that, he said he has a good chance of being in the money, but like might not be quick enough to actually win, but will be staying on late. So that's a 6-1 shot. I quite fancy Gabby's Cross for Henry de Bromhead. His horses are obviously flying as well. It's an 8-1 shot for an each way bet, but it's a wide open race, so it's if you're going to have a play in this race, it'll be an each way play for sure, you know.
Okay, and let's maybe get one more from you at the moment. The Ryanair, the
Ryanair's next, and you know what? I think this is one of my stronger fancies of the day. I think Envoy Allen has been slightly insulted by the market. He's still favourite, he's 5-2, but I think he won the race last year. He's done nothing wrong. Every time he's come to Cheltenham, I think he's won 3 times and fallen once. So he's 3-4 isn't bad at Cheltenham. So he's a proper horse, and he's 5-2. Banbridge, the second favourite, looks like it's main danger. But Banbridge definitely wants better ground. So I'd say Banbridge probably almost no chance, because the ground would be a bit too soft for him. Right. And you take him out of the market, then 5-2 looks a good price for Envoy Allen. I think if there's going to be an upset, it could be something like a Hoyt Senior at a huge price, but I think, because it's in the Russell's horse are flying as well, but I think, for me, Envoy Allen, strong.
I've got each way on the Mullins horse, Capodanno.
Yeah, Capodanno, probably a tiny bit below them, and probably not fast enough for this. It's 3-miler, and this is a slightly shorter race, so probably might not have the speed to the width, but yeah, we'll be staying on late. Could be, you do need break? Yeah, you get a place. I'll
go back to that system.
Well, the feature race this afternoon is the Paddy Power Stairs Hurdle. If you don't mind sticking around, Paddy, we'll talk to you about that in a few moments' time.
Beautiful, yeah.
We'll bring in Rupert and Lizzie as well, set up our first race of the afternoon. So we've got some guests joining us here in the box, and Charlie Baker's out and about marking Paddy's tail. Tell me more about that later on. We're here with our very good friends at Paddy Power, and also, of course, our very good friends at Tool Station. You can save 10% in store between 7 and 9 a.m. with the Tool Station Rise and Save offer. Weekdays only. T's and C's apply.
Paddy Power on TalkSport. Check out Paddy's latest offers on the Paddy Power app or at paddypower.com. 18 plus, become aware to talk.
Hawksby and Baker on TalkSport with Tool Station. Get 10% off in store between 7 and 9 a.m. Monday to Friday with Tool Station's Rise and Save offer for a job done right.
Livescore Bet welcomes you to Cheltenham, a Regency town nestled against the Cotswolds, the perfect place to relax and unwind, a civilized place of peace and quiet. Except for 4 days of the year.
Celebrate the Cheltenham Festival with Livescore Bet. We're offering new members £20 in free bets when you place your first £10 bet. Download the Livescore Bet app today.
Qualifying bet on Sportsbook excludes 4 cars, Tricastles virtuals. Settle in 14 days. Minimum odds 1 to 2 days. Free bets on Sportsbook excludes virtuals. Valid 7 days. T's and C's apply. 18 plus, bet responsibly. GambleAware.org.
I can be yours, radiant and waiting for you to feel me in every room you so desire. I would love to spend time with you in a steamy, hot shower. And if you take good care of me, I'll stay as hot as the day we first met.
Feel the love with a high-efficiency heat pump from Idea. Now available with a government grant of £7,500 and 10-year warranty. Terms and property suitability apply. Visit mydauk.co.uk.
Happy birthday. May this year bring you happiness.
And XTB's investment plans.
Wait, what?
You don't know?
XTB's investment plans are a great way to start achieving your goals.
Absolutely. Choose your desired ETFs, select a funding methods like auto investing, allocate your assets, and you're good to go.
And the best part? It's zero commission.
Download the XTB app and start passive investing with investment plans. For monthly turnover equivalent of up to €100,000. T's and C's apply. Your capital is at risk. The value of your investments may go up or down.
Who are you going for at the Cheltenham Festival?
The favourite.
The favourite.
The favourite, without a doubt. This Cheltenham Festival, everyone's going for the free favourite pull out in the sun. It's jam-packed with top tips and form guides for all the runners and riders. And a free £2 in-shot bet with Coral each day of the festival. Get your copy of the favourite every day only in the sun. T's and C's apply. 18 plus only. BeGambleAware.org.
Hey, Harry.
Hello, mate.
Got a nap lined up for today.
Listen, pal, I may not look like the young stallion I once was, but I'm still fit as a fiddle, I'll have you know.
No, Harry, that's not what I meant.
I'm not even that old. I do box exercise 3 times a week, and my trainer says...
No, I mean the horses. Your nap, your Napoleon, your best bet.
Oh, well, you should have said that. My best bet will be to head over to Bet Victor and check out the latest offers they have on the horses.
Listen to Harry. Make your best bet on the racing at Bet Victor. 18 plus, BeGambleAware.org.
Talk Sport Traffic and Travel with My Dear. Drive down the cost of cooling and heating with My Pro 10-year warranties and first-year service contributions. Reroute to mydearuk.co.uk.
In South Witham in Lincolnshire, the A1 southbound one lane's closed. Heavy traffic due to an accident at Broadgate Road at South Witham. That's a Thistleton turn-off. At Worcestershire, the M5 northbound severe delays. 2 lanes closed due to recovery work after an earlier lorry fire. From junction 8 of the M50 to 7 at Worcester. And in Buckinghamshire, the M4 westbound, there's a lane closed on the entry slip road due to a broken down vehicle. That's at junction 7, Slough West. I'm Samantha D.
Have you heard the energy price cap is changing? I still don't really know what it is or what it actually means for my bills. I can't keep up with it all. Does it drive you mad?
No, mate. I'm with British Gas, so I've already beaten the price cap. I'll get the drinks in.
Don't worry, you don't have to know everything about the energy price cap. Because at British Gas, we're keeping our prices below the April cap with our fixed price tariff. And if we release an even better fixed tariff in the future, you can switch for free. Search British Gas tariffs. Eligibility and T's and C's apply.
Thursday night, the Europa Conference League live on Talk Sport. High intensity, expressive football.
Aston Villa
versus Ajax.
coverage from 7, kick-off 8 p.m.
Sensational goal! 9 goals coming. Thursday night on Talk Sport. Kick it.
Odds update on TalkSport with Paddy Power. Check out Paddy's latest offers on the Paddy Power app or at paddypower.com. 18 plus, BeGambleAware.org.
Yes, it's day 3 of Cheltenham, unofficial Paddy's Day today, St Patrick's. Thursday, the big feature race of the afternoon is the Paddy Power Stayers Hurdle. Paddy's been taking us through the card. We'll pick up with that one, Paddy, your race today. This should be a fascinating race. We were chatting, you'll hear the conversation we had with Ollie Bell earlier on about Paisley Park and how sentimental that would be if he could win.
Yeah, I mean, he's such a lovely man, the owner of Paisley Park. In fact, we sponsored a race in, I think it was in Sandown or somewhere, and his not Paisley Park, but a different horse won the race, and I got a random phone call, an English number on my phone going, well, I answered this, could be a scam, whatever. And I answered the phone, it was Andrew Gamble just saying hi.
Everybody in England's trying to scam you.
Yeah, I know, but just introduce himself, and I just want to say thank you so much for the sponsorship. And I was going, Jesus, I mean, just a lovely, old school, proper gentleman, and anyway, look, he's a lovely fella, and it would be a lovely kind of fairy tale if that were to happen. Now, it's probably unlikely. Paisley Park is a bit of a yesterday's man, but it's always there, guys, and like it's.
No wonder Rupert loves him.
Yeah, it's like a batsman. Fuck away, just keep staying all the time. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he might squeak into it, but you'd like to think there's something younger and a bit more dynamic that might go and win this race. The favourite is Tihupu, or Rubu Savage was Chupu, or it's an island off Hawaii apparently, I know. Right. But this is actually a horse on an island that's running today. So it's right. But it's 6-4, it's very short. Gordon Elliott, who trains, hasn't had a winner yet this week, which is unusual. A lot of horses have been second and third and stuff, so not running badly. But I'd say he's frustrated, and this is the one they really fancy. Now, it was third in the race last year. Everybody says it was unlucky. I'm not so sure it was unlucky. I think it just got beat and mightn't actually see out the field as well. So I'm against the favourite. And I thought, actually, Noble Yates, who won the Grand National a couple of years ago, is one that definitely will relish every single yard of this trip. And I think that's got a good chance each way.
Okay. I've got with Sire de Bird,
He won it last year, yeah. I mean, why not? I mean, Sire de Bird is older than you, but still, just keeps turning up and has run maybe won 3 or 4 times at Cheltenham over at Square, so like loves the track.
Yeah, he knows the track.
I think fielding the 410, Paddy, for Rupert to try and call. What are you favouring here?
You say that with a real smile on your face. You love having Rupert in trouble. So there's 2 English trained horses are top of the market, Theatre Man and Crebbley. And so they're going to be good. And in fact, the third in the market is English as well, Shake 'Em Up Harry. I think there might be something at a bigger price here. Inex Chelsea's Deo for Harry Fry and Johnny Burke with Jason McManus colours. That's a 14 to 1 shot. He's got a chance each way. This is if you remember this, it's good. So in the second race today, there's a horse called Grey Dawning and Ginny's Destiny. If they run well or go close, then Crebbley has a massive chance here because Crebbley's form ties in really strongly with them. Keep an eye on them, and then you feel like a total Trudy then, and you can say, I backed that because the Ginny Destiny's form, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So you can really show up. But yeah, so Crebbley if they run well, and if not, maybe Inex Chelsea's Deo each way.
Okay. I've gone Arctic Brazil, Alan.
Not more Brazil.
Yeah.
And then next up we have
the Mayor's Novice. Yeah, this is usually like one of the lesser quality races, but actually this year is a real match because brighter days ahead. Gordon Elliott has been saying, but he'd normally be quiet enough about this type of thing, but he's been very publicly saying this is a proper horse, it's one of the best we'll have type of thing, and that's favourite now at odds on, which doesn't interest me. But Jade de Grugy, the second favourite, again Willie Mullins and Paul Townend, but that's a 2 to 1 shot. It does seem to be a match. I mean, we don't know what they're going to be rated yet. But they look like they could be well ahead of everything else in the race. So I think it's between the 2 of them. And just because Jade de Grugy is the bigger price, I'm going to favour her.
And finally the Kit Mew, again, a lot of runners in this one.
Yeah, very.
Sorry, it's getting worse. By 4 o'clock.
Sorry about that. Probably enjoying it, to be fair. I know the way you're thinking it's a very short price. He's too short, to be honest. I mean, I think he's got a great chance. We're not sure he's going to see out the trip. This is a proper stop. It's the same as the Gold Cup. It's 3 mile 2, so they really have to stay. I like the way you're thinking. It's too short, 2 to 1, even though I think he's got a chance, but he's too short. I think where it all began for Gordon Elliott is a great chance. He's a good record in this race. So that's a good one for 6 to 1 shot or thereabouts. Last year's winner Angel Dawn has a chance, but also number 5, Am I Right, for Henry de Bromhead. It's a 14 to 1 shot, just for an each way. He'll definitely see out the trip, and he just wants something that stays here, I think.
Okay, good stuff. Brilliant, Paddy. We'll see you a bit later.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Good.
Okay, we'll catch up with Rupert and Lizzie very shortly. I'll tell you what, we can have a quick chat with them now. Oh, good afternoon, guys.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon. What time do you pull? I wouldn't mind if I'd been out till 4 in the morning. I got 8 hours sleep. I felt fantastic when I woke up.
It makes it worse for some reason.
I think, as I said, fighting the bands and the fans in the grandstand has caught up with me. Anyway, I'll soldier on.
Well, I have a glass of night timber on me anyway, which is the AKA the wine tipster very kindly, because we felt lonely up here because you're in amongst it. But Lizzie and I have been a bit like the Gobi Desert up here, not much to sustain us through the afternoon. But finally, we come up trumps with a glass of something soothing to get us our larynxes lubricated.
Lovely. That's very nice.
I'll tell you what,
Neil.
We'll come back to you shortly because we're going to bring you the first commentary of the afternoon, and we'll get Rupert and Lizzie's tips in a few moments' time. So yes, the first race of the afternoon almost upon us, live at Cheltenham.
Odds update on TalkSport with Paddy Power. Check out Paddy's latest offers on the Paddy Power app or at paddypower.com. 18 plus, become a lawyer to talk.
Hawksby and Baker on TalkSport with Toolstation. Get 10% off in store between 7 and 9 a.m. Monday to Friday with Toolstation's Rise and Save offer for a job done right.
Nothing beats Cheltenham. The top jockeys, the top horses.
Raw, that first race, unbelievable. And they're off.
Betfred this Cheltenham can get an offer on every race.
Fridays of world-class racing.
I love the festival. It's the best jumps racing on the planet.
Love Cheltenham.
Betfred.
Minimum of 1 offer per race at Cheltenham, valid between 12th and 15th of March 2024. T&Cs apply, available in store and online. Offers may vary. 18 plus for gambler.org.
Hi all.
Hiya.
How are we doing?
Afternoon.
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 Let's get this meeting.
Meeting started.
Come on.
Where's the tablet gone?
When everyone's home, EE Work Mode prioritizes your broadband for working from home with the UK's fastest major broadband provider. So,
Yeah, I've got you loud and clear. Clear as a bell.
this This is broadband made for working from home. Search EE Broadband, powered by BT.
Work mode with EE Smart Hub Plus. To verify, see ee.co.uk/claims. Sometimes running a business can feel like swimming upstream in Siberia with a bear clinging onto your leg. But Xero online accounting software can help you manage the ins and outs of your finances in real time, so you can keep them running smoothly. Soon it will feel more like you're going down a water slide.
Your turn.
In a rubber ring. Or being serenaded by a string quartet. Search Xero with an X, because healthy business is beautiful business.
At Morrison's, we've price-matched hundreds of products to Aldi and Lidl, whichever's cheaper, like bananas, spaghetti, toasty loaf, Morrison's cornflakes, lettuce, cucumber, washing up liquid, vegetable oil, chicken drumstick, plain flour, and more. Morrison's to shop at Morrison's. Full terms and conditions and verification visit my.morrisons.com/price-terms.
90 seconds and you're done. Yes, just 90 seconds. That's how long it takes to shave your head with the Pitbull from Skull Shaver. Shave your head, face or body, wet or dry. You're only seconds away from a super smooth shave. That's the power of Pitbull. Skull Shaver products have over 100,000 five-star reviews worldwide and 30 days money back. 90 seconds and you're done. Try the Pitbull from skullshaver.co.uk. Skull Shaver, the time saver.
At BetMGM, we know that Cheltenham is the greatest show on turf. So let's bring in the horses. Make that 20 horses tearing up the hill. Now cue the Cheltenham roll. More like it. And BetMGM's offer, bet £10 and get £60 in free bets. Welcome to fabulous Cheltenham. BetMGM, it's showtime.
New customers only. T's and C's and info apply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
DAB, online, on your mobile, on the app, and on your smart speaker.
Tally-ho for Cheltenham. St Patrick's Thursday. Talk Sport.
It's almost time for the first race of the afternoon. Your commentary team throughout the afternoon, and indeed as they have been all week. Rupert Boland.
I'm getting suffering from vertigo up here. I feel I'm going to go headlong into the crowd.
Yes.
Not ideal, really.
A bit of rain in here as well, isn't there?
Yes, there is, actually.
So, Rupert, Lizzie, let's get your tip for this race, Lizzie. What do you think?
I really like Great Dawning, to be honest with you. This is a horse who I feel is improving. Won over 3 miles last time, so certainly has stamina. Faisal Vega is stepping up to 2.5 for the first time in his career. I don't think that'll be a problem. His mother was Vega, who won 6 races at the Cheltenham Festival over this trip, and I think a little bit longer as well. So, yeah, it's going to be a good race. And Julie's Destiny is certainly of interest, very solid. I expect he'll probably run a race. So, yeah, it's pretty open today.
What about you, Rupert? I'm in the Oroco camp, and it's just great to have a race that feels uber competitive, because there's some real many inward chances here, and I think that's the exciting thing. Great performances yesterday when you saw Ballyburn winning, and Back to File, fantastic efforts, but they were just too one-sided, and the betting reflected that. Here, when we're going 5-2 the field, Faisal Vega and Great Dawning, tells you all you need to know. And actually, people saying there wasn't going to be much of a crowd here today, it feels very busy out here in comparison to yesterday, so which I'm sure will be delighting the Cheltenham executives. So there's a good buzz out here, and I think looking through this 7-race card, it's not going to be as easy to find the winners.
Today's show is brought to you by Strepsils Throat Sweets.
Indeed they are. Yes.
It's excellent. I'm on Zana here. I don't know what I've gone with the old system of sort of long-priced outsiders each way. You know.
It's run well in Champion Hurdles, so there's no reason why not. Well, the buzz is certainly ringing around Prestbury Park today. Spits and spots of rain, as Andy was alluding to. We were expecting that. They're racing on a new course, so Lizzie will explain why it's a little bit different and has a little dynamic and a different feel. But they're coming into line for this first race. The Turner's Novice Case on day 3. Stiff breeze as well, whipping around Prestbury Park as well for this first race. With joint
Top Spot's open.
TalkSport 2 from News Broadcasting.
Well, big fan of Zana here, third in 2 Champion Hurdles, once a 160 rated hurdler, and off the mark at the second time of asking for connections when beating 8 rivals and the Spire Tower half a length at Turles last month on softer heavy ground. As I've pointed out to you both, this morning, of the 26 runners who had their last run at the Dublin Racing Festival, 11 started in the top 3 in the betting, and there's been 6 winners in the last 2 days, a 54% strike rate. There's 2 today. Facile Vega is the first.
Okay, they're about to line up. Now, in association with Racing TV, we go for our first of the afternoon on day 3 at the Cheltenham Festival, the Turners Novices Chase. Let's join Rupert Bell and Lizzie Kelly.
Yesterday, they've got 17 fences to jump here, going sort of across the course to the far end away, and Jello takes the lead from Ginny's Destiny. Then a little gap back to the rank outside of Jamaica. Great Dawning's right on the inside with Zana here in about 5th spot. Iroko's in 6th, then Le Patron, let's be clear about it, Facile Vega. Then it's Colonel Harry, and the back marker is the 11-year-old Sharcher. Very unusual for an 11-year-old to be running in a novice chase. But as I said, they're on the new course. What's slightly different about it, Lizzie?
Well, it swings you wider, and so therefore has a much longer run-in, so is seen as a bit of a stamina track, whereas the course they've used for Tuesday and Wednesday is seen as a bit more of a speed track. I don't think there are a huge amount of differences in terms of how you ride, but it will appeal to horses that can stay.
Well, staying out in front at the moment is the Harry Compton ridden Ginny's Destiny, a couple of lengths clear of the Charlie Deutsch ridden Jello. Then on the inside is Great Dawning for Harry Skelton, and Dan Skelton had a wonderful double yesterday to fly the flag for the British Raiders. Then next up is Jamaica, Jack Tudor on board this one. He's in 4th spot. Tracking this one is Zana here, who's finished 3rd in a couple of champion hurdles. Iroko, who's had an injury midway through the season after an impressive debut win at Warwick, but is going along nicely enough. Le Patron's on the inside of that one. Facile Vega, one of the joint favourites, is next best. Let's be clear about it as they come to the next fences towards the rear. Little Untidy Sharjah and also Colonel Harry at the back. They're continuing down the home straight here, a steady pace being set by Harry Compton.
Yeah, he's wanting to make sure that, you know, it doesn't go too fast too early. Facile Vega has made a couple of jumping errors. Great Dawning much further forward than Facile Vega. He's travelling and jumping pretty nicely at the moment. And Iroko seems really comfortable in himself at the middle of the pack.
Yep, trained one at the festival last year. In fact, won the last race of the 2023 festival, the Martin Pipe Conditional Jockeys race, and as I say, came out and made a winning debut over fences at Warwick, but then suffered a training setback. But Ginny's Destiny, won the last 3 races, he's out in front. Jello on the outside, then Great Dawning, and booted into that one, Jello going along sweetly enough. Then it is Great Dawning, as I say, maybe 3 lengths behind the leading duo. Then it's Jamaica on the inside, going nicely enough with Zana here. Then the John Joe O'Neill Jr. ridden Iroko on the outside as they jump that one. And they look like they've all jumped it safely enough towards the rear as they have been throughout, Colonel Harry and Sharjah. And Iroko definitely is bowling along in an eye-catching fashion at present and takes that one low, hard and fast in mid-div, with Ginny's Destiny leading by half a length from Jello on the outside of that one. Then a couple of lengths back to Great Dawning. A solid enough jump from Great Dawning. A little untidy was, let's be clear about it, towards the 3, and definitely the Patron is feeling the heat.
Yeah, everyone's beginning to spread out a little bit. Facile Vega has been making errors down the back straight. Ginny's Destiny and Jello and Great Dawning are just about breaking away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, they're about 5 lengths clear of Zana here, who's now trying to get a little closer in Iroko, and then Facile Vega. Coming to the next, good jump by the leading duo of Ginny's Destiny and Jello. Then it's Great Dawning, just tracking, hugging the rails is Harry Skelton. Then there's a 3-length gap back to Zana here. Further back is Facile Vega and Iroko. They've got some ground to make up here, but they're not yet seemingly pressing the panic button. But Ginny's Destiny and Jello have set a strong pace.
Yeah, Facile Vega's a decent 10-15 lengths off them. Zana here in the middle of that. 3 of them are quickening down now to one of the, turning into the home straight.
And they're taking this fence at 36 miles an hour, which is quick by any standards. And still Ginny's Destiny and Great Dawning trying to put daylight between them and the rest of the field. Jello feeling the heat now. The others definitely out. Facile Vega got a lot of ground to make up along with Zana here. But it's Ginny's Destiny and Great Dawning. It's a battle for British novice chasers. Unusual to say as they come into the straight. It's Ginny's Destiny and Harry Compton. And then it's the Harry Skelton ridden Great Dawning on this near side. Coming to the next fence. Little untidy was Ginny's Destiny. But that has given the advantage British racing ranks. Well, they put the Irish chasers firmly to the sword there, and Ginny's Destiny couldn't do anything to get to Grey Dawning in the end. Harry Skelton now has his third winner of the week.
Oh, that was so exciting! Oh, that was amazing! Actually seeing those two horses take toe-to-toe, stride-to-stride. Ginny's Destiny wasn't quite as good as Grey Dawning, jumping the second last. Grey Dawning was half a length down on him. They landed upsides. Grey Dawning then was able to kick away from him, jumped the last really nicely, and then all of a sudden looked like he was just going to run out of puff going up the hill. And Ginny's Destiny, he's really pushed him the whole way up. He said before the race, this horse will run a good race. He just doesn't quite have that spark, that specialness that makes him a Grade 1 winner, but a very noble race in defeat.
Yeah, there are a lot of punters talking about this horse this morning. Three horses have ended up at the winners' enclosure for Dan Skelton and Harry Skelton over the last 24 hours. That's quite remarkable, really. And it looks as if Dan has... First of all, he's got his horses in the absolute peak of condition, of course, for this meeting. But maybe he has just found that knack that it takes to produce a horse perfectly for this hallowed race meeting, rather than mopping up a load of other races in between. Having said that, Grey Dawning has had a very good season so far, so it's not like he's been hidden like the first of Dan's horses in the winners' enclosure yesterday. Grey Dawning, really lovely performance, and very gutsy as well. What a beautiful horse he is, because he's almost polar bear white, and Ginny's Destiny made him go all the way, but Grey Dawning just kept finding more. And you heard Rupert's commentary there. Would he make it to the winning line? He did, and he just held on. Dan Skelton beating his old boss Paul Nicholls into second place there with Ginny's Destiny. Racing TV is the home of British and Irish racing, and it is the only channel showing every race live from the Cheltenham Festival. 2 exclusive races every day. Head to racingtv.com to join now. And Emmett Kennedy of the Final Furlong podcast comes in for a comment now. And as we've been saying all week, Emmett, the future of British jump racing, particularly their novice chasers, looking extremely bright this week, isn't it?
It's all turned around. It's one race. It's saved. Cheltenham is saved. What panic? What are you talking about? Everything's great. British racing is thriving, and it's all fine. It's quite right. As you were saying, this is apprentice beats master. It's quite extraordinary. Dan Skelton and Paul Nicholls fighting out the finish of this race with 2 horses who were fighting out the finish at Cheltenham earlier in the season, back in December. Grey Dawning just came out on the wrong side against Ginny's Destiny, but he made a really bad mistake that day, and if he was able to just brush up his jumping, not make those errors, then he'd be okay. He does make an error, but he still manages to go and win, and it's a great piece of placing from Dan Skelton. I was a bit disappointed they didn't go for the Brown Advisory. In hindsight, Dan Skelton probably knows what he's doing. Everybody has a fair idea of what's going on in the racing world. Factophile was a monster. If Stay Away Faye was to run his race, he's Paul Nicholls' best novice chaser. That would have just been a much tougher race. This was the weaker one of the 2. Was he going to be able to be suited by this race coming back down in trip? Yes, he would be, because the new course at Cheltenham places a greater emphasis on stamina than the old course does, and there's a statistic that we need to remember for next year. The horses who win this race have either won over the distance. The only one who hadn't in the last 10 was one dropping down in trip, which is what Grey Dawning was doing, whereas Facile Vega was coming up in trip for the first time, and it was a complete disaster. His jumping was abysmal today. I think at the 3rd fence, his hind legs went right through the back. He lost all momentum. He kept going, he was galloping, but those, Lizzie was highlighting in the commentary as well, his jumping was just so frail and fragile. Maybe it's just the case that with Facile Vega, he was a really precocious, brilliant bumper horse and a precocious novice hurdler last season who's just not able to mix it at the really top level. Maybe he is just a 150 horse, whereas Grey Dawning, well, this is a Gold Cup horse, and this is a horse who will mix it with Corbett's Cross and Factophile and hopefully Galopin de Champ, Faster Slow and Co. Brilliant performance from Dan Skelton, and he is now the British Cheltenham trainer.
He certainly is, although, of course, Nicky Henderson, whose horses have largely been absent this year, it could have been interesting, couldn't it? If Nicky had been there, Britain would have won probably, you can't say certainly, but probably have won the Champion Hurdle, for example, and who knows, Nicky might have won another one as well. So it might have been a bit closer had Nicky been able to get his horses there in one piece this week, and maybe it's not quite as one-sided, although it is a bit one-sided, let's be honest about it, but maybe not quite as one-sided as a lot of people fear.
Well, first 5 in the Supreme, first 5 in the Bearing Bingham,
Yes,
first
sorry
3 in the Arkle, first 2 in the Brown Advisory. You know, we can go on. I mean, look, this does not paper over the cracks. Like, there are serious problems in British racing, and look, this is Cheltenham. We're supposed to be reflecting on the brilliance of what we've just seen. We're supposed to be reflecting on the fact that Willie Mullins has just achieved something extra. 100 winners. I mean, for goodness sakes, that was impossible. And by the way, in the mid-noughties, if you were to say which trainer is going to train 100 winners at Cheltenham, you'd have said Paul Nicholls in a heartbeat, and you'd have been mad to say anybody other than that. But Paul Nicholls, I'm afraid, not the trainer he once was, still very talented, whereas Willie Mullins just is in the ascendancy. Gordon Elliott not far behind him, and Dan Skelton not far behind them either. He will be champion trainer in Britain sooner rather than later. I was reflecting on this yesterday, though, in another broadcast, Lee, and it suddenly dawned on me about the champion chase with Captain Guinness winning and being gentleman to me. The JP McManus team must be kicking themselves, because if they'd just left in Dino Blue, she would have won the champion chase and given JP his first win. But you are right about Nicky Henderson. Constitution Hill would have won the champion hurdle. Had John Bond been okay, and if he jumped better in that race yesterday, he probably would have won the champion chase. But if buts and maybes aren't going to cut it, I'm afraid, when it comes to the day. You have to be there. They are there. Dan Skelton is there, and it's his 3rd winner of the week.
Yeah, and vis-a-vis Paul Nicholls, of course, Harry Fry, Harry Derham, Dan Skelton, all former pupils of Paul Nicholls, and they've all made the grade, haven't they, since they set out as trainers in their own right. And Paul, yeah, he admits himself, he hasn't got loads of those Grade 1 horses like he had in the past. He still wins more than his fair share of prize money, but to lose 3 guys of that quality in the last decade or so, he's done very well to keep going and be champion trainer umpteen times as he had. Great Dawning.
Just very briefly,
yes.
Just very, very briefly, I was getting a little bit worried about Paul Nicholls' stable form. Pulled up in the Boodles, pulled up Stay Away Fate, scoping wrong as well. His 2 horses were battered in the bumper yesterday. They're both nice horses. They'll do well next season. It just was too much for them. But today, he runs Stage Star, who won this race last year. Stage Star will not really get an easy lead out in front, but he's a very, very talented horse. You can ignore his last run, and he has his ground. Or he'll go close for Paul Nicholls today. Very close.
That's a real boost for the Nicholls stable there, isn't it? With Stage Star, who loves the track, of course. He's got a great record round here, coming up very shortly in the Ryanair, isn't it? 250. Great Dawning and 5-2 joint favourite. Ginny's Destiny, 11-2, tipped up by Sir A.P. McCoy on our preview show today. Nearly did it, but not quite. Good tip by A.P. Nonetheless, if you backed him each way, you would have got your money back. And DeJado, 25 job was third. Zanahiyr, good old Zanahiyr. He was everybody's each way shout for numerous champion hurdles. But he's chasing these days, 17-2, finished 4th. Next, and I think the big Thursday debate, which is going to be about should the 4 days at the Cheltenham Festival be reduced to 3 again. I don't think it's going to happen, but we can still have the debate. Maybe in view of what's just happened there, with a bit of British success in not a handicap, but a proper, I'm over-egging this, aren't I? I'm trying to get something out of...
Yes, you are!
Look, it lasted 5 minutes. Let me enjoy the moment before we revert to normality. And in the meantime, we'll have the big Thursday debate. Should the 4 days of the festival be reduced to 3? We'll do that next. This is Racing Live on TalkSport 2.
TalkSport 2, official broadcast partner of the English Football League.
At Continental Tires, we've been championing women's football for over 13 years. For us, it's more than a game, it's a passion. Join us on the 31st of March at Molineux Stadium, Wolverhampton, for the FA Women's Continental Tires League Cup Final, for a celebration of women's football. Continental Tires, driving safety and performance. For tickets, head to wolves.co.uk/tickets.
Sometimes running a business can feel like swimming upstream. In Siberia. With a bear clinging onto your leg. But Xero online accounting software can help you manage the ins and outs of your finances in real time, so you can keep them running smoothly. Soon it will feel more like you're going down a water slide.
Your turn.
In a rubber ring. Or being serenaded by a string quartet. Hot hit. Search Zero with an X, because healthy business is beautiful business.
You're abruptly woken. You're in a dark room full of strangers. You just slipped through the second half of that highly anticipated 3-hour-long blockbuster. You, Sleeping Beauty, are a health icon. Thanks to your Samsung Galaxy Watch 6, you know your rest time is 87 minutes. And since it's paired with your Samsung phone, you see that 35 of those were deep sleep. Sure, you haven't gone to bed yet, but resting is resting. Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 for extreme liveness. Compatible smartphone required.
Whether it's a better seat, a bigger room, or a free cake with your coffee, we all love an unexpected upgrade, especially if you don't have to ask. With the Hyundai Tucson Hybrid Upgrade event, you get a complimentary upgrade to premium trim when you buy before the 31st of March. Plus, you get £1,750 towards your deposit and 6.9% APR representative. The Tucson Hybrid Upgrade event. It's the dawn of a new Hyundai. Trim upgrade available for SE Connect to Premium. Finance subject to status. Hyundai UK is a credit broker, not a lender. Terms apply.
Get that Euro Millions feeling with this Friday's £110 million super jackpot. So super, you've got to dance. So let's dance like never before. On a beach, on your own private island. Euro Millions from the National Lottery. Play on app. Estimated jackpot, subject to currency fluctuations. Account terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
Have you heard the energy price cap is changing? I still don't really know what it is or what it actually means for my bills. I can't keep up with it all. Does it drive you mad?
No, mate. I'm with British Gas, so I'm already beating the price cap. I'll get the drinks in.
Don't worry, you don't have to know everything about the energy price cap. Because at British Gas, we're keeping our prices below the April cap with our fixed price tariff. And if we release an even better fixed tariff in the future, you can switch for free. Search British Gas tariffs. Eligibility and T's and C's apply.
On Track, Tuesday afternoon from 2 on TalkSport 2. Keep it ahead of all the action in the world of motorsports.
He's shown that you don't need to win from pole position.
Extended hard revving roundups, in-depth racing analysis, and big name interviews.
If I'd gone 1.5 tenths slower, I would have been P10 on the grid. So it's so tight.
TalkSport 2 rounds up the biggest stories and the latest racing rumors.
Championship points are more vital than ever.
On Track, Tuesday afternoon from 2 on TalkSport 2.
Down the home straight they come to the Cheltenham Festival, live on TalkSport 2.
Great Dawning out in front, comes to it, jumps it well, pings it. The Grey standing out in this gloomy day, but he's starting to labour. Rallying his Tiddy's Destiny. It's a not proper Cheltenham finish. We've got Tiddy's Destiny trying to get close to Grey Dawning. Grey Dawning is a length up, just a half a length up. The line's getting closer. But the magical week. Oh, the Skeltons continues now. That's win number 3, and an impressive performance from Grey Dawning.
Yeah, impressive in many respects, but I thought his battering qualities at the end of the race were probably the best bit of the lot. Grey Dawning 5-2 joint favourite, winning the Turners, and the third victory of the week. 2 yesterday, of course, as described there by Rupert Bell, the commentary of the first race, and a British 1-2-3. Absolutely unbelievable in view of what's happened over the first 2 days. Let's talk about a subject I've heard a little bit recently in the big Thursday debate, and Emmett and Tony are going to join us on this. A couple of years ago, all the talk was about should Cheltenham Festival go from 4 days up to 5 days, and I think it's fair to say that most people weren't that enthusiastic, but financially it might have made sense to the racecourse, because you get more people in for a 5th day, they spend as much money getting in, and when they're inside, as they did on the first 4, more money for the racecourse. And it's not just about profit, it's about putting money back into the facilities and indeed into the prize money as well. But I think now people are starting to say, should it be reduced from 4 to 3? So let's bring in Tony first. Has this got some mileage, Tony, or are we kidding ourselves that a racecourse is trying to be at the, shall we say, at the head of the attempt by the racing industry to churn over as much money as possible to put it back into racing? You've got something here that sparkles, the Cheltenham Festival, to ask them voluntarily to go from 4 days down to 3. It's not going to happen. What do you reckon?
No, I don't think it'll happen, Lee, but Emmett reiterated yesterday that it's a crisis, and crisis times call for crisis moves, really, and I think I certainly would welcome a return to the 3 days, even when it was 6 races a day, the 18 races that they used to have years ago. And like obviously we're talking about races that we would get rid of. I honestly wrote down quite quickly.
You've got a list of
9 races
for the chop.
Yeah. There's kind of the National Hunt Chase, which the Jockey Club want rid of anyway.
It used to be a fun race, though. That used to be a fun race. You're talking about the Full Miler. It used to be a fun race, and they've ruined it, haven't they? By trying to turn it into a sort of like a. Well, we've already got a second Gold Cup here. It's called the Cross Country. Then you've got a third Gold Cup, which is only it's a Gold Cup for horses that will be Gold Cup horses later on. But again, they run in that when they're youngsters, and then they go on to Gold Cups later on. So you've got kind of too many races of the same type. Whereas in the past, it was a weird and wonderful, slightly quirky contest, wasn't it? Of long distance horses ridden by amateur riders and strung out 2 fences between first and last by the time they got half a circuit. I used to love watching it because it was such a crazy race, but they've ruined it, haven't they?
It was good fun, yeah. And they're ruining it because I think they want rid of it, to be honest with you, Lee. There's also the Fox Hunters that they also want rid of as well. The Mares Chase, which I don't know why they brought that in anywhere. The Mares Novices Hurdle, I haven't quite got into that. I do appreciate the Mares Hurdle, but the Mares Novices Hurdle I haven't quite got into.
No, it doesn't. Somehow it doesn't. It's not the sort of race, is it, that you look forward to all year? You know, like back in October when we're anticipating the final arrival of the Chop. I'm really looking forward to the Mares Novices Hurdle. Nobody has ever said that in the history of the race, have they?
No. Festival players will have to go. The Pertemps will have to go. Grand Annual as well, and the Cross Country. That's 9 races I'll get rid of quite easy. I'd say possibly save the Turners, which we've just seen, and we'd have simple 6 races across the 3 days: Freemarkle, Ultima I'm keeping, the Champion Hurdle, the Mares Hurdle, the Fred Winter, then on to the Wednesday or Thursday Novice Hurdle, the old RSA, the Coral Cup, the Queen Mother, the Kim Muir I'd keep, the Bumper of course, and then on the final day, Triumph Hurdle, Ryanair, and the warm-up for the Gold Cup would be the Stayers Hurdle for me, Gold Cup, County Hurdle and Martin Pipe, and in there somewhere, the Turners.
Well, I like that. You've actually rewritten the whole programme for us. Yeah, very good.
I have, yeah.
It's pretty impressive. You know, people get paid, hundreds of thousands for coming up with stuff like that. So,
well, like the new Jockey Club logos. Blimey, how much they cost?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Don't get Emmett started on that, so we'll never get home tonight. So I can hear him warming up already. Emmett, I think Tony's a bit harsh on a couple. I would definitely keep the cross country, but